This evening in the Champions League, live on TalkSport, Liverpool away to Inter Milan, and former England defender Stuart Pearce. You know, Liverpool have conceded 10 goals from set pieces this season in the Premier League. Already they conceded 9 from set pieces in the whole of last season. So, I mean, that's something that has to be addressed. But from what you've seen of Liverpool, how is that going so badly wrong?
Well, I think too many players, we just listened to Dino there, too many players probably in that back line, and I include Van Dijk in that, who's been absolutely magnificent over the last few years, and not playing to their full potential. They're looking very loose at the back, and teams look as though they can run at them and get in behind them.
How does that happen? I know Konaté, there's been a lot of question marks. They didn't get Mark Gahey in the summer when he was heavily linked to the football club. And even Van Dijk's performances, as you just said, have been questioned this season. How is there such a drop-off? When they were champions last season and they looked so solid at the back, how is there such a drop-off?
Well, that is a question that many a coach asks themselves. I don't think we've seen such a drop-off from one of the A-line teams. You might turn around and say Manchester City have dropped away somewhat over the last couple of years compared to what they were when they were absolutely, immense, to be quite honest with you. Liverpool have had an incredible drop-off this year, but sometimes when you've climbed Everest, you know what I mean, they've got their hands on that Premier League trophy. It doesn't take a lot, and we've talked about Jota, the situation and the impact of that, and a multitude of other things as well are thrown in the mix as well that have all added to the complication. Maybe Trent leaving was a bigger issue than people first thought, all those types of things. Van Dijk and Salah carried the team to the Premier League title last year, and both of their forms been really, really shoddy this year.
Are we all being a little bit maybe insensitive, a little bit harsh? Should we not have just stepped back and said, hang on a minute, these guys have lost their teammate? Should we just cut them a bit of slack, because that could affect people so badly? Yeah,
listen, I think until maybe you get this season out of the system in some ways, you won't know the impact that the loss of Jota has caused this football club and his family and everything, and the whole scenario. I think it's really powerful, to be fair, and it's hurt a lot of people. That was a very, very close friend to many of those players in that squad, and it's got to hurt you psychologically.
No, I agree with that totally, and I think maybe it's only in the course of time that we'll begin to understand how each individual has been impacted by losing their teammate, losing their mate from the dressing room, and from a winning dressing room that won the title of champion among them has gone. Liverpool away to Inter Milan tonight. Game kicks off in 5 minutes. It's brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, for home of European football, and Liverpool with some work to do, Stuart, I suggest, in this Champions League. They've won 3, lost 2, 9 points from the 5 games, and as I was saying before, last season 16 points got you top 8, 12 points guaranteed a playoff place, 11 points could mean bottom 12 and you're out, based on what happened last season. So Liverpool still with work to do. They're away to Inter Milan tonight, about to come up live on TalkSport, away to Marseille after that, home to Karabakh, should be 3 points, but they've still got some work to do to make sure they're in that automatic position. Yeah, they certainly have. I think the power of getting in the automatic position is really, really strong at this moment in time. And I think across Europe tonight, all the English teams have got real critical head-to-heads, I really do, that will either put them in a very strong position or a very fragile position for the top 8. So how do Liverpool approach this? Because Inter Milan, they conceded in the 93rd minute to lose to Atletico Madrid last time. Ironically, that was from a corner, which is the way Liverpool have been conceding goals. But they've won 4, lost 1. They've been one of the best teams in the Champions League so far this season, Inter Milan, and in fact one of the best over the last couple of seasons. Yeah, and I don't think too many people think that that's going to change tonight. This is a real tough ask for Liverpool. I think a Liverpool side flying, going to Inter on the form they're on, it would have been a tough task, but a fragile Liverpool team at this moment in time that look a little bit shaky at the back, that don't look as though they've got that real cutting edge. And while we're on the subject, by the way, the players that went out the door that hasn't been talked about
Núñez and Diaz. Now, we all know that Núñez didn't hit it off, but I tell you what those two done at the front of the team, they give great energy to press the opposition and run the opposition to death last year, and them leaving the club as well. You don't see the same energy at the front end of Liverpool's team, by the way.
It's a great point, and that quality from Diaz is going to be missed by any side, no question about it. Tomorrow night we've got more Champions League football. Leverkusen, Newcastle on TalkSport. Bruges against Arsenal on TalkSport 2. There's Europa League and Europa Conference League on Thursday night as well. Spurs, Slavia Prague, live on TalkSport 2 this evening. Here on TalkSport, Liverpool left a legend at home. So with no Egyptian king running down the wing, how will they cope away to Inter Milan? It's live on TalkSport with former England captain Stuart Pearce alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you. Well, 6 days ago, Liverpool's last match at Anfield saw Mo Salah left out again. A second successive match in which he was omitted from the 11, and a selection that really felt like the line in the sand. That was the stage that it felt beyond rotation. And when he was then benched again at Leeds, his post-match outburst brought matters to a head. That made him persona non grata for the trip to the San Siro. And in the space of 10 days, from his first omission to now, it has unravelled extraordinarily quickly. The club legends won 8 honours with the club. He scored 250 goals in 420 games. Will appearance 421 ever come? You couldn't guarantee it. So, the Reds come into what on paper is their hardest Champions League tie, the away game to Pool 1 opposition, to the backdrop of symphonies of dissent and speculation. They arrived in Milan with 9 points from 5 games, looking for another 7 in the final 3 matches to avoid the playoff. Lose tonight, and a top 8 finish might well be beyond them. They line up with Alisson in goal, Gomez, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson the back 4, Gravenberch and McAllister, Szoboszlai, Jones, Ekitike and Isak. On the bench, Kirkes, Wirtz and Bradley, Nioni and Gamoa and Lucky, and keepers Mamadashvili and Woodman. For Inter, it's Sommer in goal, Akanji, who's been past fit, Acerbi and Bastoni, Luis Enrique, Barella, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan and DeMarco, and Thuram up front alongside Inter skipper Lautaro Martinez with 11 goals in 18 games, the leading scorer this season of anybody on the field tonight. Their bench, De Vrij, Zielinski, Sucic, Boni, Fratesi, Diouf, Carlos Augusto, Bisek, Kochi, Esposito, Taho and Josep Martinez are the 2 goalkeepers. Stuart, what are your thoughts tonight? What constitutes a decent result, bearing in mind that we think Liverpool probably needs 7 points to finish in the top 8?
In all honesty, I would say, Jim, tonight, on the form there on Liverpool, I think Slot would take a point here. I really do, and move on. And a point that incorporated probably a clean sheet would be utopia for Liverpool tonight. But anything more than that's a real bonus.
So Liverpool in all red, Inter in their famous blue and black, and they will kick from left to right in this first half, with Liverpool getting the game underway. So for the first time, Liverpool take to the field with a sense that these are no longer their Salah days. With Mo left at home, can the Reds give an insight into their future with a win at Inter to galvanise their chances of a top 8 finish? We are underway. Liverpool punting the ball forward, Inter picking up possession at the back and calmly working it down towards Enrique, and the right wing back will bring it up the touchline towards halfway. Barella putting his foot in, Liverpool trying to win it back. Ekitike starting as we expected on the left hand side with Isak the furthest forward, but it's Alexis McAllister who's the most advanced of the 3 in midfield. Curtis Jones coming forward to supplement him now, and as Inter turn it forward, they've given it away. Van Dijk, the Dutchman at the heart of the Liverpool defence, who has been struggling for personal form, as is this man Konate. Out to his right hand side for Joe Gomez, rolled down the line for Dominic Szoboszlai, starting on the right flank again, where he's faced up by DeMarco. Lays the ball back for Gomez. Ryan Gravenberch can bring it forward. Decent first minute of possession here for Liverpool, who haven't allowed Inter out of their own half so far. Curtis Jones has got it back towards the edge of the centre circle, and Szoboszlai calms things down by working it back towards halfway.
Yeah, I think I've seen a little insight into Liverpool a little bit, even in these early sort of minute or so into the game. They have kick-off, that they hit it forward from Van Dijk, and 3 players are near an Inter player, and not one of them challenges for the ball. And from that, Inter are playing now, albeit they don't go over the halfway line, but no real tightness or challenge or aggression. And just making that point again about the energy at the front end of the team is vital.
Lovely little over from Alexis McAllister gets Hugo Ekitike making his way forward down the Liverpool left. Back from him to Andy Robertson, who's been recalled to the starting lineup tonight. A switch of fullbacks, as often happens for Liverpool in the Champions League. Joe Gomez on the right, having sat it out at the weekend. Isak on the right-hand side of the penalty area can deliver a cross, but it's easy for the initial block to come in and then DiMarco to win the seconds to be able to clear his lines. We'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on in the EFL tonight. In the Championship, Southampton already 2 up at home to West Bromwich Albion. Cienza and Adam Armstrong scoring in the space of 5 minutes. Sheffield Wednesday lead at Watford through Charlie McNeil. They try to avoid a 5th successive defeat and get their first win in 13, and they lead at Vicarage Road by a goal to 0. It is 0-0 everywhere else in the Championship at the moment, as a high cross comes inside the Inter penalty area. It's very comfortably claimed by Jan Sommer.
Yeah, being officially a little bit critical about Liverpool. Both teams look as though they want to play in possession, but rather don't want to do the hard yards out of possession, which might lead to a rather open game, Jim.
Well, it's a habit. They've been in decent form. They've won 3 in a row. They're point off the top of Serie A. A thumping 4-0 win against Como the weekend, which took them back to the top, but other results saw them displaced and dropped back to 3rd. But 8 home wins in 9 and 14 wins in 17 in League and Cup tells a very eloquent story of where they are compared to where Liverpool are at the moment, having lost 9 of their last 15 in all competitions. In League One, Peterborough lead at Reading through a 2nd-minute goal from Jimmy J. Morgan. So head very early in that 8 o'clock kickoff. It's 0-0 everywhere in the Champions League so far tonight. Bayern Munich beating Sporting 3-1 and Olympiacos winning away at a pointless Kairat in the earlier games. Into habit with Henrik Mkhitaryan wearing black gloves on a cool evening, picking up possession and finding Akanji, who'd been a serious doubt for this game because of illness. Back from Enrique to the very familiar figure of Acerbi, veteran centre-half at the back for Inter, who became one of the oldest players ever to feature in a Champions League final last season. Inter thumped by PSG in the showpiece occasion, and they've still only been crowned the Kings of Europe once now in 60 years, which was under Jose back in 2010. Possession here with Akanji, 4.5 minutes gone, still Inter 0, Liverpool 0 here on TalkSport. And over on TalkSport 2 right now in the early stages, Spurs against Slavia Prague is also goals. We'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening there, and in the Atalanta-Chelsea game as well. Also goalless. 5 gone here. So ball is played forward. Çalhanoğlu, the Inter skipper, just gets his right foot behind it, works it back for Sommer, the goalkeeper. Both sides just feeling each other out in the early stages, with neither goalkeeper having had a shot to save.
No, that's correct. And as I say, neither team looking really to put any pressure on the team in possession with the ball. I mean, Inter have been pretty clinical with their passing, but I don't see any Liverpool players really getting touch tight on them to put any pressure on first touch.
First Champions League goal of the 8 o'clock kickoffs in Belgium, where Union Saint-Gilloise lead Marseille by a goal to 0. They're hoping to get up to 9 points with victory tonight. Both of those teams, Liverpool currently on 9. And as Adrian was explaining before the game started, 16 seems to be the benchmark from what we saw last year in this competition and the Europa League to make it through to the top 8 and avoid that playoff round. Thuram's got it now, but not for long. He tried an elaborate backheel flick on the edge of the Liverpool penalty area to play DiMarco in. Liverpool win it back, hoof it upfield, and Acerbi can mop that up and play out towards Akanji. Defender on loan from Manchester City to his right-hand side for Barella. like several of his teammates, twice a runner-up in the last 3 seasons in this competition. Now back for Acerbi again. Acerbi gets it onto his left foot and works the ball through the midfield, where it's easy possession. Given away, though, by Bastoni with a loose ball out to the wing-back. DiMarco just fell behind him and goes out of play for a throw that Liverpool take. 6.5 minutes gone, Stu. Still 0-0 on TalkSport. Yeah,
that was the first time probably Inter have been hurried in possession at all, and it led to a loose ball. Just out of interest, Jim, how many teams in the semi-final teams of the Champions League last year, did they all finish in the top 8?
That is a very good question. I'll get back to you. I thought you were going to say how many semi-finalists were there last year. I knew the answer to that.
Well, let me ask you that one first, just to warm you up.
I think there were 4. How many of them finished in the top 8?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the importance of finishing in the top 8. If we're suggesting that all 4 teams in the semis actually finished in the top 8, the importance of actually finishing there is pretty critical.
Well, it certainly wasn't them all, because PSG didn't. So, but I'll clarify how many of the 4 it was in a moment. Szoboszlai standing over this free kick, which Liverpool have won. It's near the edge of the Inter penalty area, out towards the right-hand touchline. Plenty of bodies forward, but the free kick was cleared by the Inter player at the near post. Easily knocked away by Mkhitaryan. And Liverpool mop up, but go deeper with Jones to Szoboszlai, and he in turn goes all the way back at his goalkeeper Alisson. So PSG didn't. No, they of course were the winners. The other 3 in the top 4 did all finish in the top 8, including Inter, who finished 4th. Arsenal as well, also in the top 8, as were Barcelona. So there you go. I did my homework for you very quickly.
What you read into that, I don't know. As I say, the winners ended up not finishing in the top 8 and winning it, but certainly the other 3 did. I don't know what you read into that.
Well, I think it's important with a small eye rather than a capital eye. You finish in the top 8. You don't need to get yourself in another tie that you don't have to play. That was the situation with Manchester City last year, wasn't it? And got knocked out as a result. Here's Isak around the edge of the penalty area here. Laid out towards Joe Gomez, who stands it up towards the centre of the 6-yard box, but Sommer is able to make a save. 9 gone, 0-0. Let's catch up with early events elsewhere. Firstly, to Spurs. Here's TalkSport's Ollie Klink.
And it's gone. It's Tottenham 0, Slavia Prague 0. Spurs on top, and they should have been ahead within the first 40 seconds here. It was Wilson on the bear, charging up the left, swinging it across goal. It deflected to Richarlison, who could only fire it straight at the keeper from close range. Very good save from Stanek, but Richarlison really should have scored. Spurs still in control though. 8 minutes gone. Tottenham 0, Slavia Prague 0.
PSV take the lead at home to Atletico Madrid. We'll find out how Chelsea are getting on in Italy. Alex Pruitt.
10 minutes gone here. It's Atalanta 0, Chelsea 0, but the one big chance has gone for the home side. Great work down the left by Ademola Lookman. Cuts his cross back for Charles de Catalara, waiting in the centre. He looks certain to score, but Trevor Chalobah sliding in, got the faintest of touches to divert the ball away. Atalanta 0, Chelsea 0.
It was Till that scored that goal for PSV, his 12th of the season. And PSV looking for an 11th win in their last 12 games. And if they were to get it, they would keep their hopes of a top 8 finish alive. They're decidedly tepid at the moment, those hopes. Long ball is played over the top here to the left-hand side. It's drifted past DiMarco and gone out of play, but Inter have a problem. And Çalhanoğlu, I don't know whether he's opened up his groin, but he's seemingly indicating over to Christian Kivu, his boss on the touchline, that he's going to have to come off.
Yeah, that's certainly the case. As I say, he's gone down there, he's stretching off certainly the groin area, and he's signalled to the bench that he actually wants to come off. So that's a problem for Inter. Yeah, just looking at Liverpool's press at the front, I don't look at, when they've come from sort of Diaz and Núñez that were bags of energy, and Salah a little bit more. So you've got a front 3 there of last year, Jim, that will really go after you if you're in possession. And I'm looking, and I'm not sure that's paramount for the likes of Ekitike and Isak, if I'm being honest with you.
So Çalhanoğlu coming off, and Zielinski, the former Napoli man, is coming on to replace him. He got a couple of goals against Liverpool in Napoli's 4-1 win over the Reds back some 3 seasons ago. And he will come on. He's the latest scores in League One. If you don't hear your team's game, it is still 0-0. Northampton 1, Huddersfield 0. Reading 0, Peterborough 1. The Port Vale Bradford game is off. Mansfield down to 10 men at home to Bolton after the early dismissal of Rhys Oates, but that one is still 0-0. That is it in terms of goals in League 1 at the moment. A few more in League 2, where Barnet lead Bristol Rovers 1-0, Crawley a goal up at Bromley, Cambridge 1, Chesterfield 0, Salford leading at Fleetwood 1-0. It's 2-2 between Notts County and MK Dons. And in the Champions League, PSV and Union Saint-Gilloise lead Atletico Madrid and Marseille respectively by a goal to 0. This one is 12 minutes in and it's still 0-0. Joe Gomez just catching DiMarco a little bit late on the top of the foot. Gomez offering a hand of apology and having a little bit of piece of advice really from the referee Felix Fire that he won't get away with another one of those, but nothing more than that. Inter take the free kick. They work it back inside their own half very briefly, only to come back forward again. And Thuram trying to help it on, and then Robertson coming in, and he's been caught by Lautaro Martinez. I think that will be a yellow card for the Inter skipper.
Yeah, as I say, it ended up being a sort of 50-50 between the two of them, and Robertson got there first, but he saw the challenge coming and rode the challenge, no doubt about that. Might have just been caught, just looking at the replay now. Yeah, he's moved the ball first. It looked probably worse than it actually was, because Robertson's literally done a somersault over his shoulder. So it'd be okay.
So Robertson down, Martinez booked. He's had a great record. 4 goals in 4 Champions League ties this season. 12 in his last 12 games in this competition. He's actually scored in each of the last 5 home ties in the Champions League. And in that run, he scored 8 goals in those 5 games at the San Siro. But the only impact that he's made so far tonight is on Andy Robertson, who is still down receiving treatment. Jalanolu is on the bench receiving his treatment after going off. Robertson didn't have that left leg planted, as we see another replay of it, but it was a good job he didn't.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, reviewing the challenge, it was quite a nasty one, and you could tell Robertson... not the type of player to over-elaborate on an injury, and he certainly felt that one.
So Martinez in the book, 0-0 with 14 minutes gone here on TalkSport. 2 more games for you tomorrow. Leverkusen taking on Newcastle. That's here on TalkSport at 8 o'clock. And again, we'll be bringing you a choice of live listening as Arsenal go to Belgium to take on Club Brugge. And that is an 8 o'clock kickoff on TalkSport 2. Tomorrow, it's a choice of live listening for you tonight as well. Spurs against Slavia Prague, still goalless, and that is over on TalkSport 2 right now. If you've got the TalkSport app, it's really easy. Just go to the live games tab, click on that, and it will direct you wherever you want to go for your choice of listening. We're back underway. Robertson, with Martinez having been booked, allowed to stay on the field, having received his treatment. And Liverpool have possession with Joe Gomez over on the far touchline of Liverpool right as he fires it down the line. It's chased after by long-head Soboslai, mopped up comfortably enough at the back by Bastoni. It's a night where Inter have had the majority of possession in these early stages, about 60-40, as near as makes no difference. And Luis Enrique picks up possession and lays it back towards Akanji. He's clipped it superbly over the top of Isak to find Bastoni. Bastoni back towards Cherby. Now to be played down towards Akanji again. Do you feel that Liverpool lose a little when they've got the Ekitike playing in a wider position on the left-hand side?
Yeah, I do, from 2 fronts really, Jim. A, from an attacking threat, but more importantly as well from a pressing threat. I think as a centre forward, yes, you've got to press, but I think your 2 wide players either side have got to press slightly more aggressively. And I'm looking at Ekitike, and I'm not sure that he relishes that side of the game, looking at this performance.
Isak, with his back to the direction of play, just trying to work it back towards Alexis McAllister. In to have it back, DiMarco, played for by a Cherby. Konate, it looked as though he'd just given a glimmer of an opportunity there to Thuram, but Konate can get it back to his goalkeeper, and Alisson will take a couple of touches in his yellow boots inside his own penalty area and get it forward. Barnet leading Bristol Rovers 2-0 in League 2, and Marseille have equalised in Belgium against Saint-Gilloise with a goal from Igor Pashao. Clearance from Sommer straight out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Liverpool left midway inside the Inter half. 16 gone. It's Inter 0, Liverpool 0. And still completely chanceless. Jones inside his own half, but only just finding Robertson, who's just ventured into Inter territory. And back it goes for Jones again. Jones to Van Dijk, and Van Dijk just trying to draw even lip service of a challenge from Lautaro Martinez before working it back for Alisson again. Alisson getting it out for Ryan Gravenberch, out towards Joe Gomez. It still feels like a little bit of a phony war at the moment, Stu.
It does. It almost gives you the vibe of a World Cup game where a point would do both teams, Jim.
That has been played at 12 noon in 55 degrees heat.
We might have a few of them coming forward this summer.
Certainly will. Every game live from the World Cup will be here on the TalkSport network. Here's Curtis Jones. McAllister, not for the first time tonight. They're very clever. A little over, leaving the ball for Curtis Jones, who can bring it forward and fires one in. And it's saved by Sommer, comfortably enough, diving to his right-hand side. He beat it away. But great awareness from Ekitike to pick up possession. He was the first to react. He looked second favourite, but got there to the loose ball inside the penalty area before Luis Enrique. Now Robertson has it again. Back out for Ekitike. Ekitike, central position, it's Gravenberch, and that one is beaten away by the goalkeeper, diving to his right-hand side. Strong hands from Sommer to clear. Couple of shots on target in the space of a minute for Liverpool, but the veteran Swiss international equal to both of them. And Thuram gives it away, and Jones can turn beautifully through the midfield, bringing it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Good spell this from Liverpool. Ekitike's cross was too high for Isak, and DeMarco fields it, and Mkhitaryan will be able to bring it away.
Yeah, two good chances there for Liverpool. To be fair, the goalkeeper made reasonable saves. He'd have been disappointed to let either in, I've got to say, but certainly a step in the right direction for Liverpool.
Isak again trying to apply the pressure on the edge of the penalty area on a Cherby. The 37-year-old has been able to work it back for a Kanji. Gravenberch still well inside into territory, wins an aerial challenge to get it away from Thuram, and now Robertson will have the ball back at his feet, played by him into the midfielder Alexis McAllister. Alexis has it again, easy possession with a real lack of intensity in the press from either side in terms of the work that they're doing off the ball at the moment. Inter, if anything, more culpable of the two. Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Konate for Van Dijk. Inter coming into this having won their first 4 games in the group stage, but then lost to Atletico Madrid last time out. Still handily placed, 12 points from their first 5 games, leaving them, we believe, fall short of where they want to be. Ball over the top inside the penalty area, flicked on towards Szoboszlai, and cleared by a Cherby, poking it behind his own goal. Now to play for a Liverpool corner, which is the first of the night, and Curtis Jones with good quick feet around the edge of the penalty area, instrumental in making things happen. Yeah, good ball into a danger zone there, and I think it was Ekitike that received it. And in all honesty, my expectation, rather than set one off to a teammate, might have been better off trying to get a turn on and a finish. Szoboszlai to take this corner then, which comes on the 20-minute mark. Inter 0, Liverpool 0. Szoboszlai raising his left arm, hits the corner in very deep, plenty of curl on it as well, and it just drifted over the Liverpool players in the middle. It was Konate that was the man cutting a frustrated figure that he didn't get anything on that, just jumped a little bit too early. It did take a deflection, goes out for another corner. This one will be taken on the Liverpool right, and Szoboszlai will go from the left over to the right to take it. But he nearly got that one right. Van Dijk just in discussion around the edge of the penalty area with Ekitike and Konate and Gomez about who's going to run where. Liverpool have actually got 7 players inside that penalty area as Szoboszlai raises his left arm above his head this time. The away swinger easily headed away by Mkhitaryan. Comes outside the penalty area for Gravenberch. Gravenberch down to Curtis Jones. Left-footed ball clipped in high by Robertson, and Sommer will be able to come out and claim it. Southampton 3, West Brom 0. 2 for Adam Armstrong, up to 11 for the season. And he's now got 6, or hoping for a 6 win in their last 7 games. Southampton leading West Brom by 3 goals to 0. And Lincoln leading Barnsley by a goal to 0. Also an equaliser for Huddersfield at Northampton in League One. Northampton 1, Huddersfield 1. And a goal elsewhere. Where are we going next on TalkSport? It's at the Valley in the Championship. Ian Abrahams.
Charlton 1, Middlesbrough 0. Riley McGree has scored. Great work down the right-hand side. And when it was pulled back 12 yards out, he put it past Kaminski, who's already made half a dozen really good saves. Charlton 0, Middlesbrough 1.
As Middlesbrough look for their 3rd straight win. Charlton hoping to avoid a 5th successive defeat tonight. We're midway through the first half in the match we're concentrating on at the San Siro. Inter 0, Liverpool 0 is the score, with Zielinski, who's already come on as a substitute for the injured Çalhanoğlu, laying the ball back. Cherby can bring it forward. Clip down towards the right wing back, Enrique. Luis Enrique helping it on, then finding space in the midfield. Bastoni coming forward from the back. And continuing his run towards the edge of the penalty area. So Barella tries to knock it forward. It's Martinez who clears. Isak trying to bring the ball away, claiming that he was fouled. The referee says play on. And Inter do, and they get it down for Lautaro Martinez again on the left-hand side of the area, but he's in an offside position as the ball is just worked down that inside left channel. 23 played here on TalkSport, and it's 0-0.
I'll tell you what, the officials just give an offside there, Jim, and that was so close, it was incredible. And I really don't understand why they give decisions as quick as that and stop the game like that, and then sometimes when it's clearly offside they let the game run.
Christian Kivu out on the edge of the technical area in his big black parka, bellowing instructions. There's a Cherby, just clears the ball high up in the air, and Liverpool are able to win the seconds about 15 yards outside the penalty area. And they got it with Curtis Jones, but he's fouled Thuram. 24 gone, 0-0. Somebody has seen red in that top 5 clash in the Championship at Deepdale. Here's Natalie Pike.
It's Preston North End 0, Coventry 0, and it is the home side that are down to 10 men. Liam Lindsay with a straight red card. Haji Wright was through on goal about 20 yards out, and Liam Lindsay puts both his hands on his back and pulls him over. It was the easiest red card this referee will ever give. It's Preston North End 0, Coventry 0.
So still 0-0, but North End down to 10 there. Eintracht Frankfurt leading away to Barcelona in the Champions League. Ansgar Knauf has scored that. It's been a poor Champions League campaign for Barca. They've only won 1 of their last 4, having got off to a winning start. And if they were to lose tonight, they'd only have 7 points from 6 games. And the top 8 would be beyond them. Here's Alexis McAllister out to the right-hand side of the Liverpool midfield. 25 minutes gone. Alisson, to Liverpool's credit, has not had a save to make so far. No skirmishes around the edge of the Liverpool penalty area even. Nothing to write home about. And it's been a solid enough attacking performance from them without creating an awful lot. But they've laid a solid foundation in this game against a side who are so impressive at home. Ball over on the Liverpool right-hand side. 25 minutes gone. 0-0 with Szoboszlai just working it back for Alisson again. Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, it's been a pretty low-key tie so far. I've got to say those 2 efforts from Liverpool were probably the spike in excitement. Aside from that, it's really been half-cocked sort of possession work from both teams in many ways.
Here's Akanji, Mkhitaryan, Cherby, Zielinski with the ball at his feet and an opportunity to run. It's just trying to get the ball down the side of Konate for Thuram's run. He was able to get it back to his goalkeeper. The clearance falls for the substitute Zielinski, the very experienced Polish international, in the heart of the midfield for Inter. And he's just poked it forward here for Henrik Mkhitaryan. He in turn to Lautaro Martinez, a one player who's been booked so far, running to the edge of the penalty area, trying to get a return ball from Thuram, who might have been better advised to shoot. Liverpool clear, but straight to Barella. And back it will come again with DeMarco. Now to Martinez. Trying to play it past Ekitike, and he couldn't. Need to win the next phase of play very quickly. Martinez to DeMarco. Ball inside the penalty area from him. Stabbed away by Andy Robertson. And then there's a boot raised as Alexis McAllister stuck his head in to try and clear on the edge of the penalty area. And Barella has been penalised. 26 gone. It's 0-0, but the deadlock broken in Bergamo. Alex Crook.
It's Atalanta 0, Chelsea 1. The goal coming against the run of play. João Pedro sliding in to score at the near post from Reece James' low cross. It was originally ruled out for offside before VAR intervened. The goal stands. It's Atalanta 0, Chelsea 1.
Chelsea ahead. And Spurs ahead as well. Ollie Klink.
27 minutes gone. It's Tottenham 1, Slavia Prague 0. It's an own goal by David Zima. A corner from Porro from the right-hand side. Flicked on by Romero at the front post. And Zima could only head it past his own keeper and into the net. Spurs in front here. Tottenham 1, Slavia Prague 0.
And it continues live right now on TalkSport 2. Spurs up to 11 points if they win that, which will make it back-to-back wins this week in League and Cup after 5 games without a victory. Liverpool being held 0-0. Spurs and Chelsea here. Van Dijk. Ball with Curtis Jones now. Andy Robertson's 10 yards inside the Inter half, and they've got nearly everybody behind the ball. In fact, Thuram just shuffles back, so they do have everybody behind the ball. And Liverpool, who didn't have an awful lot of possession in the opening 15 minutes, has probably had more of it in the 12-13 minutes since. Jones, who's been playing pretty deep, 10 yards outside his own box, goes back for Van Dijk. And Van Dijk will just side foot the ball out to the right-hand side for Konate. Liverpool defending with whips. A good ball played over the top. Ekitike appeals for an offside flag. Nothing raised so far. Ekitike getting to the byline, firing it in. Sommer beats it away at the near post. Stops it finding Isak and puts it behind for a corner.
Yeah, good effort there. Good movement by Ekitike. Managed to receive the ball just beyond the back line of the inter defence, and he's at a really tight angle there. Got to the touchline. He's looking to fire one across the face of the goal, I think, but Sommer too close to him, and he managed to get a good parry and put it behind.
Jan Sommer in his 3rd season since signing from Bayern, had more than 330 games for Borussia Mönchengladbach. Wonderful career he's had. This latest corner won't be taken for a moment because of another problem for one of the Inter players because of injury. Cherby, having cleared that, stretching out his hamstring, it just actually, seeing the replay, caught his right foot in the ground as he tried to make a sliding challenge, and Ekitike waltzed past him. I don't know whether he's just twisted anything. It looks as though he is going to have to come off. So they've already lost Çalhanoğlu to injury, and they're going to lose Cherby as well. Yeah,
as I say, first one looked like a groin injury. This one, definite muscular injury. Looks like a hamstring problem there. And obviously dynamic movement going back, attempting to block the cross has caused the problem. This is not good for Inter, but certainly is for Liverpool.
Well, he's now down receiving treatment. He tried to hobble towards the touchline and sensed he wasn't going to make it. And so he's gone down again. Half an hour gone. Inter 0, Liverpool 0. Let's get updates again. We just heard of the goals from the 2 London clubs in the Champions League. Let's go to our 2 feature games in the Championship. Firstly to Deepdale, Preston, Coventry, Natalie Pike.
And it's Preston 0, Coventry 0, and we are into the 46th minute here, nearly half time, and Preston still down to 10 men there after Liam Lindsay was sent off about 5 minutes ago for that red card. It was a fairly slow start to the game, but in the last 15 minutes it is certainly sparked off right here. It is Preston 0, Coventry 0.
And to the Valley, Ian Abrahams.
Charlton 0, Middlesbrough 1. Riley McGree with the goal, and Middlesbrough have been a joy to watch, especially Hayden Hackney. They forced Kaminsky into half a dozen saves. They could be in again. Oh, it's good defending on the far side. Charlton second best here comfortably. Almost half time. Charlton 0, Middlesbrough 1.
Jan Bisek coming on for Inter. Came on as a sub in the Champions League final last season. Went off again 10 minutes later. But he's on here. Half an hour gone. Inter's second injury-enforced change. box. Another Liverpool corner, their third, 0-0. Szoboszlai sending it in very deep. Ekitike going up for it with Van Dijk, and it's steered over the line. Konate gives Liverpool the advantage. They've scored from a set piece. Ball fired inside the penalty area, headed on. And Konate was in there, a player that has had more than his fair share of critics over the course of this season. He's just come up with a very significant goal to give Liverpool the lead in the San Siro.
Yeah, it's the Inter players are adamant that the ball's been headed down by a Liverpool player onto a Liverpool player's hand that's arrived at Konate. We're just looking there at the replay. Or maybe Konate on the goal line has headed it onto his own hand. Either way, Inter are convinced there was a touch of the hand there.
Well, it's being checked, of course. Søren Storks is the VAR. Felix Zweier, the referee, making his way back towards halfway. But will the goal count from the angles that we've seen and in real time? It's not obvious by any stretch of the imagination. What's your gut feeling?
I think there was, by the trajectory of the ball that was headed down and then all of a sudden spun up over the top of the Inter back line to free Konate up near the goal line. I think it's hit something. I've got a feeling it will be a hand. And there was only a couple of Liverpool players in close attendance. Well, but you're right, it wasn't clear, was it?
I think it may well be Ekitike, who's the player that will have contravened the regulations if this is disallowed. I mean, they're having an extensive look at it. But we see another replay now. Ekitike going up. Van Dijk going up at the same time as he did, with the ball possibly headed by Van Dijk onto the hand of Ekitike, bouncing up then for Konate to be able to steer his header over the line.
That is the one. Certainly Konate, he was a clear head from him onto the back of Sommer. So all clear on Konate's nudging it over the line. But you're right in what you say, Ekitike is the one. It's difficult to tell the angles we got, and I'm sure VAR might have a slightly better angle.
Well, if you're having a look at there's an angle from the camera behind the goal which doesn't really appear to be too incriminating. There is another angle that we've seen that looks worse, the one that is effectively shooting over the player's shoulders towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Now, that makes it look as though there potentially was an infringement. The players from both teams certainly don't appear too sure. I mean, the Inter players appealed more in hope than expectation, I think. Initially, Szoboszlai seems to have indicated that he thinks the ball hit an arm. Now Thuram and Konate are just discussing things inside the centre circle. I think in the Premier League that probably would be given because it's not the goal scorer. It's an accidental handball. It's not the goal scorer's hand. Now, if that hits Konate's hand like that and goes in, then I think it is definitely going to be chalked off. And seemingly the referee is being called over to the monitor to have a look.
See, this is where I think VAR is wrong. I think in judgment calls like this, if VAR can't sort out what they think and give the referee guidance on the pitch, yeah, I think that's been headed down onto a hand. I think there's too much. It's been. I would be very disappointed if that was me. That, yeah, Van Dijk's headed it onto Ekitike's hand. You're going to say he's headed it onto the Inter defender. I don't think so.
Do you not? I was going to say, because there is an Inter defender that is on the scene as well. It's Bastoni. Now, Bastoni has jumped up. He's got the two Liverpool players behind him. One angle makes it look, and you're absolutely right, because the second one doesn't. The first angle made it look as though Van Dijk headed it, and it hit the nape of the back of Bastoni and then hit the arm of Ekitike. That doesn't happen. It doesn't hit Bastoni. No. There is clear daylight between the two Liverpool players, the ball and him. Now, the referee's had a look at the monitor, and he's going to disallow it, I think. Yes, he does. He taps his left arm and indicates it was a handball by Ekitike, and after a 4-minute check, it is ruled out.
My opinion, Jim, that is a correct decision, because the ball has been headed down, so it's going towards the ground, and then it's sprung up over the defenders for Konate to head in near the goal line. For me, it's too strong a handball just to ignore it.
Well, he certainly gained material advantage by it, Konate, because of if it hadn't hit him, then the header from Van Dijk would have gone towards goal rather than looped up towards the edge of the 6-yard box for Konate to attack. So it's 0-0 with 36 minutes gone, but probably a good 7 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half because of the injuries, the substitutions, and that lengthy VAR check as well. With Inter in possession inside the centre circle and able to bring it forward with a Kanji, but a let-off. I mean, Liverpool haven't been markedly better than Inter as Bissek brings it forward and fires one in left-footed that has spun away off Van Dijk and gone behind for the first Inter corner.
Well, I've been a little bit critical of the attacking line of Liverpool not doing much of a press. On that occasion, Bissek comes straight through the midfield and just channeled his way to goal.
It's half-time at the Valley, and news of another goal right at the end of the first half there very shortly as well. First of all, this corner, which will be taken on the Inter left-hand side. It's the first that Liverpool have faced. DiMarco looks as though he's going to swing it in, but has abdicated responsibility towards Barella. So Barella sprints over towards that yellow corner flag over on the far touchline, preparing to swing this in. It will be an in-swinger that Isak can easily head it away outside the penalty area. Then play back towards Zielinski, down towards Mkhitaryan. Inter able to bring it forward, the right-footed ball inside the penalty area that Van Dijk can head away, and then Ekitike should be able to clear. Does so the second time of asking, but in doing so, he's kicked through the ball and has caught Thuram, and he's going to be booked. He missed his kick as the first one came down. He had a complete air shot. Then, as he kicks the second one upfield, I just wonder whether his follow-through, having cleared the ball, he's kicked the underside of the foot of Thuram and put him on the deck.
Yeah, this is where the referee's got to have a bit more of an understanding of football. He's had a swing at the ball. Thuram's ended up getting there just before him. So as he's looking at the ball and had a swing at the ball, Thuram's put his foot in the way. It's never a booking. For me, it's never a booking, that.
Ekitike is in the book. Let's get those details very quickly from the Valley. Ian Abrahams.
Charlton 0, Middlesbrough 2, Riley McGree, and then Morgan Whittaker right on half-time down the left-hand side, slamming the ball into the back of the net. Middlesbrough well deserving of their half-time advantage. Charlton 0, Middlesbrough 2.
Cheers, Moose. At the San Siro then with 6 minutes to go to half-time. Allison is lining up a four-man wall and is bellowing at them. He's got a draft excluder behind that four-man wall. The free kick comes in right-footed, and Allison flew across goal. Didn't get anything on it, and as it turns out, he didn't need to. But Barella didn't miss by much.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think Allison thought that... Well, listen, let's say he had it covered, it's fair to say. There was a bit too much curl on the ball that took it away, but for a moment, and the body language of Allison, you thought that he thought it was closer than it actually was. I think he'd have had it covered.
So still 0-0. Liverpool having the ball in the net, disallowed after a lengthy VAR check for a handball against Ekitike. You're with Talk Sport, and it's half-time at Deep Down, Natalie.
Yeah, it's Preston 0, Coventry 0, Preston down to 10 men. Liam Lindsay shown a straight red for pulling down Wright, who was clean through on goal. The best chance of the half came for the league leaders. Sakamoto with a brilliant 60-yard diagonal pass from inside his own half, straight to the feet of Wright, skipped past two defenders, placed it in the bottom corner, but Iverson tipped it round the post. It's Preston 0, Coventry 0.
More goals. Shrewsbury have equalised at home to Grimsby in first half stoppage time in League 2 with a goal from John Marquis, and Atletico Madrid have equalised that Gustil opener for PSV. It's Julian Alvarez with his 11th of the season to make it PSV 1, Atletico Madrid 1. 5 to go to the break at the San Siro on Talk Sport, over on Talk Sport 2. Also 5 to go to the break, where Spurs are leading Slavia Prague by a goal to nil, and Chelsea a goal up at Atalanta as well. We'll be back with details of both of those games in a moment, with Bastoni in possession for Inter, but pretty deep. He's inside his own half now, just saunters through his own half of the centre circle in working the ball to his right hand side for Jan Bissek. to Luis Enrique, back for Bissek, and he will find his goalkeeper, and we will go back to Tottenham. Talk Sports, Ollie Klick.
It's Tottenham 1, Slavia Prague 0, 5 to go to the break. Slavia Prague have tried to respond since going behind. We've seen a fizzing strike from the edge of the box from Yusufa Sanyang, which Vicario had to palm away to his left-hand side. They have threatened at times, the visitors, but so far, Spurs still in front, if there have been, a bit uninspiring. 4 to the break, Tottenham 1, Slavia Prague 0.
A long diagonal ball from Barella. Thuram attacking in left-hand side of the penalty area. And it was just headed away from in front of him. Alisson sprinted out to try and stop the ball going out of play for a corner, trying to persuade everybody that he stopped Konate's effort in time. His legs and just about all of his body went over the dead ball line, and all of the ball did as well in the eyes of the assistant referee. So into with another corner with 3 to go to the break. DeMarco's going to go across and take it, so this will be a left-footed away swinger. Thuram stands by the penalty spot. Now, Akanji is in there to attack this as well. Alisson comes out, punches it away with his left hand. Jones can steer it further clear on the edge of his own penalty area. Back to Bergamo. Chelsea leading at Atalanta the last time we heard from Alex Crook.
And it's still Atalanta 0, Chelsea 1, courtesy of João Pedro's first ever Champions League goal. But the Blues would have been behind before that, but for a brilliant block by Josh Achiampong, keeping out Ademola Lookman's effort from point-blank range. How big a moment could that be? Atalanta 0, Chelsea 1.
So Chelsea leading, Spurs leading. Liverpool have had the ball in the net, only for it to be cancelled out, and it's 0-0. Tomorrow night, Newcastle at Leverkusen, Arsenal at Club Brugge. And those games on TalkSport and TalkSport 2, respectively. They kick off at 8, and we'll keep you updated with everything going on as well between Real Madrid and Manchester City, as the TalkSport network brings you a choice of listening again tomorrow as part of our festive 50. Inter working the ball back to their goalkeeper, Ekitike. Just saw his eyes light up for a moment that he might be able to chase that down and get there before it found the goalkeeper. Inter making a meal of getting it away, eventually can clear past Isak and the Liverpool press out towards Bastoni, and he brings it forward towards halfway. Travelling with possession, and no Liverpool player is putting a challenge in on him. McAllister kept the gap between the two, but didn't make a challenge. Barella then works it in towards DiMarco. Left-footed ball clipped in, is deflected, and Inter have a third corner. They're third in the space of 4 or 5 minutes, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, I can't work out whether Inter are exceptionally good at playing out and playing through, or Liverpool are just not pressing dynamically enough to cause them any form of problems. Every time you see them in an awkward position, the Inter back line, they manage to get out and play out of it. So they've got an opportunity here to pop the ball in the box, put big numbers in, crowd scene around Alisson.
Liverpool had a flurry of corners earlier in the half. Into with the flurry now. It's worked short towards DiMarco on the corner of the box. Right-footed ball in from Barella. Liverpool dealt with that very effectively. Zach got in the way, and now will be able to bring it forward. He's just tumbled over in possession as a challenge came in on him, and he's claiming that he was fouled, but the referee doesn't agree. DiMarco play the ball down the Inter left-hand side. It's then worked back towards Barella. DiMarco still lurking with intent inside the penalty area from left wing back. Now the ball is swept in. Alisson can come out and just get there ahead of Thuram to catch it. And we're about to go into first half stoppage time at 0-0.
Yeah, we are, and that will be quite substantial, as you mentioned earlier there. Good block there. Just looking at Isak, he's not had a great deal of impact in this game at the moment. You know, he's just bent over double. I think he got his foot trod on, so he's claiming.
Yeah, they've struggled since he arrived at the club, really, to be able to get too much service to him. I know that Erling Haaland's built his entire Premier League career on having 3 touches a half and probably scoring with 2 of them, but I'm sure Isak would want to be more significantly involved. It's a lot less than it was in his Newcastle days. Still very early on in his Liverpool career, of course, as they try and bed him into the system and get him used to playing with all of these new teammates. Here's Ekitike able to come forward for Liverpool. There's a number of challenges coming in on him. His ball retention was really good. Eventually Bastoni could get it away, and there's confirmation as well of the 7 extra minutes we're playing at the end of this first half. the Championship. QPR 1, Birmingham 0. Jimmy Dunn has scored that goal, and Mason Greenwood's having an excellent season for Marseille. He's up to 12 goals now. Marseille have turned it around in Belgium and lead at Union Saint-Gilloise by 2-1. Chelsea and Spurs still leading. Spurs live on TalkSport 2. Liverpool being held by Inter Milan here on TalkSport with Jim Bradford and Stuart Pearce talking through the action, and there are 6 minutes of first half stoppage time to go. Ball is played down towards Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk taking a touch, works it to his left-hand side for Robertson. You're listening to Inter Milan against Liverpool in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Van Dijk with a long ball forward out towards the right-hand touchline. Isak going up for it, and he's just caught Barella and given the free kick away.
Yeah, as I say, speaking with Aid before the game, he said what would be a good result for Liverpool. I thought from the manager's point of view, a point and maybe a clean sheet, but I certainly was hoping that wouldn't be the case. The way things are turning out, it looks as though it might well be.
Well, Liverpool have won 4 of the last 6 meetings between these two. They knocked Inter out in the round of 16 4 years ago. The hero in that tie, well, inevitably, Mo Salah. Got a couple of goals in the game at the San Siro. Although Lautaro Martinez scored the winning goal at Anfield, it was the Reds that went through on aggregate. Gravenberch getting it forward here. McAllister just tried to work it into the path of Isak, but Isak's covering was good. Sommer came out, picks up the ball and bowls it out for Barella. Barella plays it out to the left-hand side for Bastoni, and he can venture forward towards halfway. Still 0-0. Bastoni continues his run. Saw that Thuram was ahead of him. Couldn't thread it through. Ball goes out of play for a throw that he's taken himself. Back for Mkhitaryan, and he will find Zielinski, one of the 2 Inter substitutes brought on because of injury in the first half. They've lost Çalhanoğlu and the Cherby. Ball fired through the Liverpool 6-yard box, about 6 feet off the ground. That was missed everybody. DeMarco gets another opportunity to deliver, and Van Dijk can volley that one away. But 2 perceptive balls in quick succession, one from either flank.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jim, I'm so disappointed with the aggression that the midfield is showing as well. This midfield 3 of McAllister, Jones and Gravenberch, I don't think they're doing a great deal to protect that back line of Liverpool on occasion.
It's Bisek finding Akanji. Sorry, Stu.
No, I'm just saying, you know, when you're not playing well as a team, that's what you've got to do. You've got to put those extra yardages in to stop the opposition unearthing the heart of your defence.
Zielinski just stings the palms of Alisson with a shot from a tight-ish angle. Always going to be saved by Alisson Becker, who gets it, knocks it out towards Virgil van Dijk. From him to Jones, to Gravenberch, who needed his goalkeeper in behind him. Side foots it out with little pace towards the touchline to get it safe. Van Dijk could keep it in and boom it upfield. Liverpool win the seconds on halfway with McAllister, and then win the throw off Bisek. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. And we've played 4.5 minutes of the 7 added at the end of the first half. Robertson to take a throw right in front of Christian Kivu. Back towards Virgil van Dijk. It's half-time at Tottenham and at Atalanta, and the 2 London clubs are winning their respective games. Chelsea in Italy and Spurs at home to Slavia Prague. Elsewhere in the Champions League, Barcelona trailing at home to Eintracht Frankfurt at the moment by a goal to nil. Eintracht 2, Liverpool beat 5-1 in Germany. Monaco Galatasaray's 0-0. PSV Atletico Madrid's also all square at 1-1. Marseille have come from behind to lead at Union Saint-Gilloise by 2-1. 2 minutes of the first half remaining. And Inter with the goal kick can bring it forward. With Akanji, who goes up very quickly through the gears. First to second to fourth, and then slows down again as he works the ball out to DeMarco. Blonde-haired left wing-back. 4 from him for Emery Mkhitaryan, who's making good ground inside the penalty area when eventually he's tackled. Comes out towards Barella. Now Barella with a full 360 and maybe a little bit more of a pirouette on the edge of the box. Then DeMarco. Ball worked in. Martinez. Good save, Alisson. Trickiest one he's had to make. Martinez with a flying header. And Alisson palmed it away, diving down to his left.
Yeah, Lautaro gives you that impression. He's a little bit lethargic, but we've seen a couple of spikes today in this first half where he's been absolutely dynamic, and that was one of them. Darted across his man, got a great header in, and a good save by Alisson. But once again, Mkhitaryan just strode through the midfield and exposed the back line.
Has scored against Liverpool in the past in the Champions League, back in his Dortmund days, Henrik Mkhitaryan. A veteran of 740 games at club level now. And nearly 100 for his country, Armenia. He's just involved here along with Barella as Alexis McAllister is fouled. You're listening to Inter Milan against Liverpool in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. There's another save that Alisson would have been disappointed had he not made, but he did have to cover the ground pretty quickly to his left-hand side to deny Lautaro Martinez, who scored the only goal in the last meeting between these two and very nearly scored the only goal in the first half of this one as well. Alisson's free kick, the last touch of a first half. Liverpool have had the ball in the net. It was a Konate header. It was ruled out, though, by a lengthy VAR check, who concluded that Van Dijk had headed the ball into the arm of Ugo Ekitike on the edge of the 6-yard box. He didn't know anything about it, but Liverpool did benefit from that materially. Konate headed the ball in. It was chalked out. Alisson's made that one save at the end of the half. And at the break, it is Inter 0, Liverpool 0.
We'll round up what's happened in the 45 here at Spurs, who lead 1-0, and for Chelsea, who lead 1-0 away to Atalanta. But Stuart Pearce, on the disallowed goal, Konate heading it in, Van Dijk headed it onto Ekitike's upper arm, but they decided it was handball, disallowed it. What's common sense? What would be the common sense outcome from that situation, in your opinion?
I think it altered trajectory too much for it not to be ruled out. That would be my common sense footballing logic. He's headed it down onto a teammate, and then the ball's lofted over 2 or 3 into defenders to a Liverpool player who stood probably about 3 or 4 yards off the line and headed it in. For me, I'd be really disappointed if that wasn't chalked off if I was a defender. That is the logic. Now, other people might disagree with that.
Oh yeah, I wanted your opinion, and you've given it.
Well, you've got it.
Absolutely.
I think it was a correct decision by the official. I don't see any necessity for VAR to send the referee over. Just send him a message down. He's headed it onto his hand. Disallow the goal.
4 minutes 33 seconds between the ball hitting the back of the net and the referee coming away from the screen and saying the goal is disallowed. 4.5 minutes is too long, right? In all honesty, it is. And from the referee having to go over to the screen, I thought the whole idea of VAR was we'll have a look at it and then just radio down to the referee and tell him our decision. Takes the referee out the loop then, and it sent a message out that, look, you haven't missed something on the pitch. That would be an easier way and a less time-consuming way of doing it. You said beforehand that a draw away to Inter is a good result, and I agree with you, totally is in the context of this season's Champions League and the way Inter have been performing. But can Liverpool feel a little bit disappointed maybe with parts of their game in that first half?
I still look at Liverpool from a defensive aspect and say from back through the midfield, they're too easy to play through and pass through on what I'm seeing tonight. They need to improve that going forward to have a better run in the Champions League this year, in my opinion. But I think it's been an even Stevens game, really. The goalkeepers at both ends have made saves that they should make, but I don't think any team have created enough to be in front or to be behind. So probably 0-0 at this stage is probably on the run of play would be the correct scoreline. As long as Liverpool keep a nil at the end, from their defensive point of view, I think they'll be happy and take whatever comes.
I was intrigued by what you were saying about Liverpool's midfield three, Jones, McAllister, Gravenberch, towards the end of the half in commentary. What would you tell them at half-time? What do they need to do different?
Well, there's been a couple of times. Bisset was one, a defender that's picked the ball up basically on the halfway line and just, meandered forward with the ball, and all of a sudden he's on the edge of the box facing the back line of Liverpool. I would say that shouldn't really happen. The same again, Mkhitaryan done exactly the same. He advanced against the Liverpool midfield, went through the midfield, and it was too easy to do that. This midfield three have got to be slightly better, but then again I was bemoaning the front three as a work rate of shutting down, but I've probably got the likes of Núñez and Diaz on my mind, and Salah when he's really at it. They really shut defenders down and make it very difficult for you to play through them. I think Liverpool are a little bit too easy to play through at present.
Quick one on Isak. How would you assess his first half?
I've not seen him have any meaningful impact in the game as yet, I've got to say, so maybe that's a supply line scenario. Alternatively, maybe he's not doing enough to create for himself.
Interesting stuff. Stuart Pearce will be back for the second half. Inter Milan 0, Liverpool 0 live on TalkSport. Goal in the Championship. Sheffield United lead Norwich 1-0. Danny Ings 5 minutes into the second half. In League 2, Tranmere have taken the lead at Barrow 1-0. Charlie Whittaker. Also in League 2, Bromley have come from behind. They lead Crawley by 2-1. Here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, let's round up the first 45 alongside me, Ollie Klink.
It's Tottenham 1, Slavia Prague 0 at the break. A David Zima own goal has Spurs ahead. It came midway through the first half. He headed into his own net after Pedro Porro's corner was flicked on by Christian Romero at the front post. Spurs could have been further in front too. Richarlison should have scored from close range within the first 40 seconds of the game, but he couldn't convert Wilson Odobez's cross from just 6 yards out. Slavia Prague have come forward at times. Vicario has been forced into a couple of saves, but despite not quite being at the races so far, Spurs lead here at half-time. The second half will be live on TalkSport 2. At the moment, it's Tottenham 1, Slavia Prague 0.
Spurs are leading in the Champions League. Chelsea leading in the Champions League as well, Alex Crook.
They are indeed. It's Atalanta 0, Chelsea 1. The only goal of the game so far came in the 25th minute. João Pedro sliding in to finish at the near post from Reece James. Low cross from the left-hand side. The goal was originally ruled out for offside, but following a lengthy VAR review, in the end, it does stand, and it gives Chelsea a precious advantage in a game that Atalanta had actually dominated to that point. Ademola Lookman, the former Leicester man, looking really lively down the left-hand side. He went on a mazy run, cut the cross back for Charles de Catalara, looked for all the world as if he would score from point-blank range, but Trevor Chalobah sliding in, got the faintest of touches just to divert the ball behind the Atalanta man, and we saw an even better piece of defending from young Josh Achiampong. A brilliant block from him inside the 6-yard box, denying Lookman from point-blank range. This would be a significant step for Chelsea towards a place in the top 8. If they can see it out in the second half, it is Atalanta 0, Chelsea 1.
And half-time in the Women's Champions League at Boreham Wood. Arsenal lead FC 20 by a goal to 0. Beth Mead, the scorer of the only goal in the first half. You're listening to the Champions League live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Goal in League 1, early second half. Leyton Orient 1, Luton Town 0. The latest score in East London. This is TalkSport.
Kick off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18plusgambleaware.org.
Flat battery, blown bulb, wipers past their best. Don't worry, you can fit it yourself at home. With big brands and low prices, starting from just £1.99 for wipers, $4.99 for bulbs, and batteries from just $39.99. Those life journeys don't need to cost the earth. Don't wait for a flat start. Power up, brighten up, clear up with mymotorworld.com. Delivery from just £3.95.
mymotorworld.com. Hey Sainsbury's, have you got anything to help my money go further?
Well, if you want to make some big savings, make sure to use Nectar Prices and your Nectar Prices at Sainsbury's. Together they can save you over £450 a year on your food shop.
Bring it on.
Download the Nectar app and tap into great savings. Sainsbury's. Good food for all of us. 18 plus Nectar app required. For full terms, see help.sainsburys.co.uk/help/Nectar prices.
Think about cheese. Make your thoughts cheesier. Now add 100% chicken breast fillet, chipotle sauce, and a mega cheese melt. And it's giving the new cheesy chicken stack at McDonald's. Did we mention it's cheesy?
Cheese.
Available until the 4th of Jan 2026 from 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary, subject to availability.
1 in 8 men will get prostate cancer. But all too often they find out by complete chance too late. It shouldn't be this way. With no early warning signs and no national screening programme, we need your support. A donation to Prostate Cancer UK will help fund the research that will improve the odds of catching prostate cancer earlier, saving thousands of lives. It's about time men's lives weren't left to chance. Visit prostatecanceruk.org/give.
Whatever kind of football fan you are, Talk Sport and the Coral Daily Download are here for it to celebrate the fans every day. Whether you're a front row seater or a prawn sandwich eater, a half-and-half scarf wearer or a lifelong faithful torchbearer, a retro shirt for every game or bare-chested, even in the rain. For all the latest news, reaction and odds this season, don't miss the Coral Daily Download every morning from 6 on Talk Sport. With Coral, we're here for the fans. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Champions League live on Talk Sport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
King of football commentary. Kick-off live on Talk Sport.
Surprise goal in League Two. Swindon go top with a win, but they're losing at home to lowly Cheltenham. Ethan Archer with a goal just before the hour mark for Steve Cotterell's side. We're underway in the second half here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs leading by a goal to nil. This is live on TalkSport 2, but it's Inter nil, Liverpool nil. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Bet on this season's Champions League action live tonight. Visit ladbrokes.com. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Yeah, goalless in the San Siro. Inter are 29-20 to win. Liverpool are 9-4. The draw is 17-10. Hugo Ekitike to score first was 6-1. That's been price boosted to 7-1. Lautaro Martinez to score any time, 7-2. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
The big preview on Talk Sport with Ladbrokes. Bet on this season's Champions League action live tonight. Visit ladbrokes.com. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Right, let's take you to our championship games well into the second half at the Valley with TalkSport's Ian Abrahams.
Nearly 10 minutes gone. Charlton nil, Middlesbrough 2. McGree and Whittaker in the first half. Should have been 3 a couple of minutes ago. Ball won by Hackney in his own half. He set Bergzog 3 inside the penalty area. Laid it off to McGree, who shot brilliantly, but it was saved equally brilliantly by Kaminsky. Charlton nil, Middlesbrough 2.
And what about the leaders at Deepdale? TalkSport's Natalie Pike.
It's Preston nil, Coventry nil. Half an hour left here. Coventry with all the best chances in the first half, and they've started the second the more lively as well. Now, they did have the ball in the back of the net. They thought they'd broken the deadlock. Had G right, however, the assistant raised his flag for an offside in the build-up. 10-man Preston are holding firm just. Preston nil, Coventry nil.
Technically, it was an offside in the building, so you're absolutely bang on. Let me give you the latest scores in the Championship. These are well into the second half. Blackburn nil, Oxford United 1. As you know, Charlton nil, Borough 3. Still goalless, 10-man Preston against Coventry. Sheffield United 1, Norwich nil. Southampton 3, West Brom nil. Swansea nil, Portsmouth nil. Watford nil, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Birmingham City nil. That was an 8 o'clock kick-off. The rest 7:45. League One, if you don't hear your game, it's goalless. Leyton Orient lead Luton 1-0. Lincoln 1, Barnsley 0. 10-man Mansfield 0, Bolton 1. Reece Oates sent off for the Stags after just 13 minutes. Northampton 1, Huddersfield 1. Port Vale Bradford was postponed. Stevenage Cardiff, that's third against first. That was a delayed kick-off because of weather conditions. An 8 o'clock kick-off. It's Stevenage 0, Cardiff 0. Now an incident here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ollie Klink.
Yeah, Tottenham 1, Slavia Prague 0. It is a penalty to Tottenham. It's Pedro Porro who was surging forward inside the box on the right-hand side. He was brought down by San Yang. He was right on the byline, Pedro Porro, when the incident happened. The ball was pretty much gone. It was a really silly challenge. The referee, Benoit Bastien, pointed to the spot, and Pedro Porro at the moment is still receiving some treatment down by the hoardings. Took a bit of a tumble into them after the challenge, but at the moment it's a penalty to Tottenham. There will be a check on this by VAR. The only reason I can think that they won't give this is if the ball had already gone, but if the challengers come in, then surely it will be a penalty to Tottenham. Tottenham 1, Slavia Prague 0 as we await this check.
Yeah, it's a silly challenge. It's a penalty. He can't believe he's given away a penalty. He can't believe the decision, but for me, that's definitely a penalty. While Porro gets to his feet after treatment, looks like the penalty has been given and will be taken any moment, Ollie Klink.
And it will be Mohamed Kudus who steps up for Tottenham Hotspur, looking to double their lead in the Champions League. He awaits the whistle of the referee. Pedro Porro skips back and looks like he will be okay to continue as well, as we await Mohamed Kudus to take this penalty. As it stands, Tottenham heading into the top 8 in the league phase of the Champions League. It's Kudus who steps up left-footed and scores, sends it right down the middle, and Spurs double their lead. 3 gone in the second half. It's Tottenham 2, Slavia Prague 0.
And the whole game live on TalkSport 2. We're still waiting for the players to come out for the second half as Liverpool are goalless away to Inter Milan. Commentary of that second half coming up on TalkSport. There's been another goal in League One. Wickham 0, Plymouth 1-0, and Assini has put Argyle in front. Peterborough lead at Reading by a goal to nil in an 8 o'clock kickoff. Also in League One, Stockport have just taken the lead at Doncaster. Ben Osborne with the goal in the Championship. Carlin Grant has pulled one back for West Brom, who now trail at Southampton by 3 goals to 1. League 2, Barnet the 2 up against Bristol Rovers. Barrow 0, Tranmere 1. Bromley 2, Crawley 1. Cambridge 1, Chesterfield 0. Fleetwood 0, Salford 1. Harrogate 0, Accrington 1. In fact, Accrington have gone 2 up there. Ben Ward with a second. Notts County 2, MK Dons 2, Shrewsbury 1, Grimsby 1, Swindon 0, Cheltenham 1, and in the Virtue Trophy, Colchester 0, West Ham's under-21s 1. George Earthy with the only goal of the game so far. Keeping you updated with all the goals as they go in throughout the course of the second half. Champions League second halves are underway in most of the games, apart from the one in the San Siro. Inter Milan 0, Liverpool 0. Elsewhere, Chelsea are 1 up, Barcelona 0, Frankfurt 1, Monaco 0, Galatasaray 0, PSV 1, Atletico Madrid 1, Spurs 2, Slavia Prague 0 here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Union Saint-Gilloise 1, Marseille 2. So, live on TalkSport, second half, San Siro, Inter Milan 0, Liverpool 0. Here's your commentary team on TalkSport of Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot.
Adrian, thank you very much indeed. The Liverpool players coming back out for the second half, lining up like this. Alisson in goal, Gomez, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson. And then Gravenberch and Jones. Szoboszlai on the right, Ekitike on the left. And McAllister playing off Isak. The unused substitutes, Kirkes, Wirtz and Bradley. Nioni, Ngamoa and Lucky. Woodman and Mamadashvili. There's room for improvement, but there certainly is for Inter as well. We get the second half underway in their blue and black stripes. Liverpool have certainly held their own, even if they haven't, as Stuart's been saying, been at their most dynamic best. Inter lining up with Sommer in goal, Akanji, Bisek and Bastoni, the 3 centre-halves, and Luis Enrique, Barella, Zielinski, Mkhitaryan and DeMarco, with Thuram and Martinez up front, and they've already made 2 injury-enforced changes, so there's only one further junction that they can make a change in this second half. DiMarco put under immediate pressure by Joe Gomez, only 10 yards from his own corner flag, and battling and trying to get the ball away, and he has been able to clear, the shaven-headed veteran. And then as the ball is worked for, Martinez rolls his man and is judged to have been fouled by Konate, who turns to the referee and queries the decision. And having seen the replay, you can understand why, but the free kick has been given to Inter just outside their own penalty area, Stuart.
Yeah, there's more and more decisions that I see in the game where players just drop themselves to the ground and the referees are con by it. But I was at the Villa-Arsenal game at the weekend, and I've got to say the referee done a really good job of just playing on for these silly little things, and I think the game was benefited by it.
Now, Isak has picked up possession inside the penalty area and fires a shot in that's well wide of Sommer's post. And it was just the presence of Isak that forced the error out of Jan Sommer. As the ball was played back to him and he stretched, he wanted to try and get it away towards Bisek, who was just guilty of ball watching. Isak picked up possession, was forced to come outside the penalty area as a result of the angle of his run, but then had a shot on the turn, which he fired well wide.
Yeah, ended up being a poor effort. He's worked hard to turn the ball over. Akanji didn't tackle him in the box because of the momentum that Isak had. And then once he got turned and opened the goal up, he got no curl on the ball whatsoever.
Liverpool coming again, but the Szoboszlai flick just goes away from Ekitike and through for Sommer. Stockport leader Doncaster with a goal from Ben Osborne, and Tranmere go 2 up at Barrow through Joe Ironside. Norwich equalise at Sheffield United in the Championship through Jibril Samara. Tara Martinez on the left-hand side of the Liverpool penalty area. Lays it back for Barella. Right-footed ball is very high from him. And it was all Luis Enrique could do to try and keep it in. It's come at the top of the Brazilian's head. And straight out of play for a goal kick. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Still 0-0. Spurs 2 up live over on TalkSport 2. After that Kudus penalty 5 minutes into the second half. And Chelsea leading at Atalanta by a goal to 0. Run through all the championship scores for you in a moment. In League One, Barnsley have equalised at Lincoln through Davis Keeler-Dunn. 3 minutes into the second half. Had a lot of stoppage time at the end of the first and kicked off slightly late in this game. So we are behind most of the others. Liverpool in possession with Ryan Gravenberch. It's on the edge of the centre circle. Can just try and thread a ball through towards Isak. Into with Martinez, and then Thuram will battle after it on halfway. And Jones will be able to win it back. Of course, all the headlines being made with the absence of Mo Salah, training on his own in the Liverpool gym this morning rather than being at the San Siro. And we've talked about the fact that it hasn't been the most dynamic Liverpool performance. Would it have been more dynamic had Salah been in the team?
A good Mo Salah, the answer is 100% yes. Mo probably playing the way he is at the moment, I would probably say no. So simple as that, really.
Gomez trying to get the ball forward, can't do so effectively. Lautaro Martinez, what a pass that is! Hook forward for Mkhitaryan, who takes a touch on his thigh and then fires a poor cross right through the penalty area and past Thuram. Robertson can mop it up. Liverpool will be able to bring it away, but Inter look potent on the break for a moment there.
Yeah, Lautaro there, just showing his class. Every now and then he'll do something in the game that just gets you off your seat slightly.
Here comes Isak at the other end, square to his right-hand side. Jones can help it on inside the penalty area. Gomez swings it in too deep, straight past the top left-hand corner and out of play for a goal kick. 50 gone. It's 0-0. How Chelsea getting on at the beginning of the second half? Alex Crew.
It's still Atalanta 0, Chelsea 1. Jamie Gittins just seen his shot saved at the near post after cutting in from the left-hand side. Reece James also put a decent chance wide from just inside the penalty area, and Lookman thought he'd equalise for Atalanta, but his effort ruled out for offside. 1-0 Chelsea.
Eric Mkhitaryan has just been caught from behind by Ryan Gravenberch to give Inter a free kick. Told you that Barnsley had equalised at Lincoln, but parity didn't stay for too long. Lincoln's Tom Bayliss restoring their lead barely 90 seconds later. Stockport 2 up at Doncaster Rovers now with Carl Wooten adding the second. Barcelona have equalised at home to Eintracht Frankfurt through Jules Koundé. And in League 2, Bromley lead Crawley by 3 goals to 1. And it's the experienced Michael Cheek that has got that goal. Let's go back to Bergamo. Another goal for TalkSport's Alex Carew.
And the equaliser, Atalanta 1, Chelsea 1. He didn't get many for West Ham, but Gianluca Scamacca, with the header from 4 yards out, has just levelled it up in this one. Atalanta 1, Chelsea 1.
And a goal in the big game at the top of the Championship at Deepdale. Natalie Pike.
It's Preston 0, Coventry 1, and it's come with 20 minutes left here. Jack Rudioni is claiming it, but it was scrappy and it might have come off a Preston defender in the box. Preston have been holding on, but Coventry have been peppering that goal for the whole second half. It is Preston 0, Coventry 1.
Officially credited at the moment as an Andy Hughes own goal there, but Coventry leading by a goal to 0. Yet another goal. Is it going to be yet another win for the Sky Blues with a perfect riposte to their disappointing defeat at Ipswich at the weekend? 0-0. 6.5 minutes into the second half between Inter and Liverpool. As Lincoln score again, 3-1 up at home to Barnsley with 3 goals in 4 minutes there. Back for Zielinski. The ball has been played by Bastoni, who was offside when he received it. So it's a free kick to Liverpool in their right-back position. 7 minutes into the second half, and no real discernible changes in the pattern of play, Stu.
No, there certainly isn't. The only thing that's got us off our seat slightly is Lautaro's ball. I think his reverse pass putting Mkhitaryan away on the left-hand side here, but he was running out of legs, being tracked down by Konate, hurried his cross and got it horribly wrong.
So Alisson to take the free kick. And he sweeps it upfield, headed on there by Gomez into the chest of Isak. Bastoni wins the ball and then protects the space in front of it so that Zielinski can take over and get his foot on it. Work forward, Van Dijk wins it back. An attempt to just turn it round the corner by Robertson for the Ekitike run. Doesn't quite come off. Nearly didn't. It would have been a wonderful pass. Sommer out to Bastoni, who's looked a bag of nerves at times tonight. Szoboszlai. Now McAllister, he's driven it far too high. As he looked for Isak to change the angle of the line of attack, he's hit it probably 3 times as hard as he needed to. Straight out of play for a throw that'll be taken in the Inter left-back position. And it's still 0-0. And it wouldn't be the worst result by any stretch of the imagination when you consider that Inter were one of the pot 1 teams that Liverpool had to face. You'll remember that you faced 2 from pot 1, 2 from pot 2, etc. So your away game against pot 1 opposition, on paper, always the toughest game. Liverpool beat Real Madrid at home. The other game that they've played against aside from pot 1 that they were drawn against, 2 games left. They go to Marseille and then they've got Karabag at home. Win both of those, get a draw here, we reckon they'll finish in the top 8. It could be pretty close. It's going to be a pulsating finish to this league stage, as indeed it was last year. Barcelona have turned it round with 2 Jules Koundé goals in double quick time. Barca 2, Eintracht Frankfurt 1. Here's Konate in possession. He had the ball in the net in the first half, if you're just joining us, and it was disallowed for handball by Ugo Ekitike after a lengthy 4.5 minute VAR check. Konate's got the ball at his feet again now. Knocks it square to Van Dijk, who will be able to bring it forward for the Reds.
We've had a season and a half of the new format of the Champions League. How have you viewed that, Jim?
Absolutely love it.
Yeah,
I think it's tremendous. I was all for it when they announced it, and I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I've seen nothing that has made me think that it wasn't a good idea. And I don't necessarily agree with everything that is put into place by footballing authorities. I'm not too sure about the expansion of the World Cup, for instance, but the way that they've done this and the format of it, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I must agree with you. I think it's been a really exciting campaign over certainly last season. The same apply this year.
I mean, it makes match day 7 and particularly match day 8 very exciting. You're bound to get a couple of the big hitters that don't get into the top 8, maybe a few more than that, and so you could have a round of 16 tie that really lights the place up, as we saw last year with that Real Madrid-Manchester City game. Inter in possession here, Barella and Lautaro Martinez would still have had work to do had he been able to control that through ball. Barella working the strings in the midfield, and he's becoming increasingly influential. Played 10 minutes of the second half and it's still 0-0. Reading have equalised at home to Peterborough in League One. Liverpool able to bring the ball forward with Robertson. Back for Dominic Szoboszlai. Joe Gomez on the right-hand side. He's passing into the feet of Alexis McAllister. Gomez with another little reverse ball for the retreating Ekitike. Isak had 6 in blue and black around him. It was so congested. It's no wonder that he's had very little service, being so heavily and intensely marked. Gomez on the Liverpool right. Of course, if they're detailing him that closely, there's got to be space elsewhere. Liverpool haven't always been able to exploit that.
No, they haven't. And I mean, they've been so slow, they almost run aground with that last attack and had to retreat to their own half, and they're midway in their own half at this moment in time.
Szoboszlai, the man, had the ball at his feet, finds Robertson to Alisson. Alisson, route 1 straight through the middle. Bisek heads the clearance away. Liverpool get to it, and then Szoboszlai was just wrestled to the ground there by Mkhitaryan. That was cynical. Turned him a yellow card.
Yeah, as I say, good little interchange there. Szoboszlai and McAllister. McAllister just fed Szoboszlai, who was getting away, and Mkhitaryan just hauled him to the ground.
No complaints from the Armenian international as he is booked. You're listening to Inter Milan against Liverpool in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. And another big goal at Deep Down with Natalie Pike.
Preston 1, Coventry 1, and it is Daniel Jebsen with just 15 minutes left here to play, and he has poked the ball into the bottom left-hand corner past Carl Rushworth, who was frozen in his goal. It is completely and utterly against the run of play. Preston down to 10 men. It is Preston 1, Coventry 1.
10 men, but up to 4th as it stands at the moment in the Championship, although Millwall are just above them and Ipswich just below them don't play until tomorrow. As Liverpool bring the ball forward here, Isak outside the penalty area for a dribble ball in. McAllister was waiting, and Bastoni's not had a great night. That's a great touch though, because he got it out of McAllister's flight path and he didn't steer it into his own net, and it looked inconceivable he could do both.
Well, quite incredible. It whipped it across. Great ball across the face of the goal by Robertson. Typical fullback's ball, away from the goalie, bit of curl on it, coming back towards the forwards, and Bastoni has had a swing at it like a cricketer almost. It's sort of sliced it through the slips. I think that would have gone through second and third slip, Jim.
Joe Gomez takes the long throw inside the penalty area. Inter are going to be able to bring it away. It's actually been won back by Konate. Yeah, he got it between second and third slip, but it looked for all of the world he was going to be slicing it straight behind the wicket keeper, but he didn't. It goes down as a very good defensive intervention. All gets a little bit congested in the frenetic heat of midfield battle, but Barella again can bring it away. He's found Lautaro Martinez. Good block by Van Dijk. Comes out for Barella, just outside the penalty area. Still 0-0. We've played almost an hour. Barella's ball inside. Konate lets it bounce. Gomez turns quizzically and looks at him once he's been able to deal with it, put it behind for a corner.
Yeah, it's that man Lautaro that is the real problem for Liverpool. Anything good coming from Inter, I think, goes through him, or he creates something out of nothing.
Corners work short. Back to DiMarco, the corner taker. Another good ball in that Thuram is there to attack. And his was the last touch, according to the referee, as he went up for it with Van Dijk. And the two of them then indulge in a really good-natured pushing and shoving match. And I think that tells you everything you need to know in terms of whether Van Dijk believes he got the last touch. Yes, he did. And it should have been a corner.
Yeah, as I say, you can tell that it was a good defensive header by Van Dijk, I must say. Quizzical smile there from Van Dijk told the whole story.
In the Championship, Swansea 1, Portsmouth 0 in the game between two sides in the bottom 5. Swansea won at the weekend after a run of 60 feats in 7. They lead again through Liam Cullen. And in League 1, it's Exeter 1, Wimbledon 0. Gomez. Van Dijk can't get there. Little backheel flick from Barella. And he's having to improvise and he couldn't find the man. Liverpool get it away, under increasing pressure now. Gravenberch can steer the latest one away. McAllister poking it back under duress inside his own box. Well, he's caught by Thuram in the process. And it's a free kick which will be taken by Liverpool. It was Bissek actually that caught McAllister just coming in blind side of him. They've got, in terms of attacking options on the bench, Ngamoa, they've got Wirtz as well. Szoboszlai playing in a central role. McAllister at 10. Would you like to see a change?
Well, I don't think McAllister's had great impact in this game personally, Jim, so that might be the option, moving him.
It's for McAllister maybe then. Bakanji heads away over the halfway line. Inter dominating possession at the moment. Mkhitaryan. And I don't know whether Martinez thought that he had someone to his left-hand side much closer and he let the ball run, or whether he just couldn't control it cleanly and it bypassed him and he was furious. It's gone out of play. It was a really good break from Inter. There've been a few of them, and at the moment they're looking the more likely.
Yeah, they certainly are. Mkhitaryan there just another wayward pass from him. He's had a couple of good opportunities to find teammates to create a couple of bits and pieces, but just overhit that one far too much.
Fleetwood have equalised at home to Salford with a goal from Matty Virtue in League 2 as Robertson plays it forward. Hugo Ekitike, 17 gone in the second half on TalkSport. He's let fly from distance and he came down at Yorker length right in front of Jan Sommer, but he did well to scoop his hands underneath it, bring it into his body and make the save, and it remains 0-0. Monaco have taken the lead at home to Galatasaray in the Champions League. They'd early missed a penalty. Sommer gets the ball outside his own penalty area for Bastoni, who turns away from Soboslai, lays it back for his goalkeeper again. Sommer clearing it right-footed from inside the 6-yard box. It's volleyed by Gomez to Van Dijk. Van Dijk controlling it, goes back for Robertson, and he in turn will be able to play it all the way back for Alisson. 63 minutes gone. Let's go back to the Valley in the Championship, where Middlesbrough, as things stand, shaving the gap at the top to 5 points. Ian Abrahams.
They are, and good value for it. Charlton 0, Middlesbrough 2. The goals in the first half from Riley McGree and Morgan Whittaker. They could have added more in the second half, especially from McGree, but Kaminski has been outstanding tonight in the Charlton goal. We've got just over 10 minutes to go. Charlton 0, Middlesbrough 2.
10-man Preston 1, Coventry 1 is the reason why Middlesbrough are going to be making ground on the leaders tonight, as it stays, or if it stays the way that it is. Back with our two featured Champions League ties very shortly. Gomez has got the ball in his hand again, preparing to launch a long throw, and Arne Slot is doing some directing and conducting of the troops from the edge of his technical area. Peterborough have retaken the lead at Reading with a goal from Harry Leonard. Gomez with his long throw inside the penalty area, and it's easily knocked away. Thuram does cut a quite awkward figure. Brings the ball outside the penalty area, and Zielinski with a lovely little nutmeg there of Alexis McAllister, who's tiring now. Barella can bring it forward, slip down the right-hand side of the penalty area. Martinez is waiting. The ball only finds the head of Soboslai. One back in the midfield. Thuram's got it. Good play from Thuram, curling one towards goal. Alisson took two hasty steps to his left. He had it covered, didn't have to dive. It's gone wide.
Yeah, good recovery there. The break was on after the nutmeg on McAllister, but Liverpool, I've got to say, recovered to position. 7-8 players filling the box. Made it very difficult for Inter, and Thuram's effort, not enough curl on the ball once again.
That runner-up in this competition, his dad was a runner-up as well back in 2003. He's got 8 in 14 games this season, Thuram, so he's been in good form when you consider that Martinez is the leading scorer. Barella out of the right-hand side for Inter to bring it forward once more. Chipped inside the penalty area. Kanate heads it behind from a corner. Got a shout seemingly from Van Dijk that there was no pressure on. Could have nodded it back to his goalkeeper, taken a touch even, but not being too sure of who was where. Didn't take any chances. That's headed it behind for a cheap corner.
That's the air of lack of confidence. A few moments earlier, Gomez done exactly the same. When you're playing with confidence, you just chest it back or cushion a header back into your goalkeeper.
Unit Saint-Gilloise got another one back at home to Marseille. They trail 3-2. Tranmere leading 3-0 at Barrow. 0-0 at the San Siro between Inter and Liverpool, as DiMarco raises a tattooed arm above his head to swing this left-footed corner in deep, too deep. Headed away, only as far as Barella. Barella from distance, and a distance away.
Yeah, it's a poor effort from Barella. It landed at the edge of the box. I thought a really bad header from Gravenberch. He just lofted it to the edge of the box, and then Barella just couldn't get his half volley correct.
Still 0-0, but another goal at the Valley for TalkSport's Ian Abrahams.
Charlton 1, Middlesbrough 2, and while Thomas Kaminski's been making save after save, Charlton are back in this. I think this is an own goal. Doherty's put the ball across. He's been credited with the goal, but I think it might have gone in off of George Edmondson. Anyway, it's Charlton 1, Middlesbrough 2, and 8 minutes to go.
And around the grounds in the Champions League, firstly to Bergamo, Alex Krug.
where it's still Atalanta 1, Chelsea 1. Gianluca Scamacca with the equaliser counting out João Pedro's first half opener, and Scamacca nearly had a second. His header brilliantly clawed away by Robert Sanchez. Momentum is with the hosts. Atalanta 1, Chelsea 1.
You're listening to Inter Milan against Liverpool in the Champions League. It's live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Liverpool are going to be bringing Wirtz and Bradley on. We'll go back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ollie Klink.
17 minutes to go. It's Tottenham 2, Slavia Prague 0. Spurs with a corner right now, and they should really have 3 or 4, Jim, in this game. Pap Sarr just now finds straight at the keeper from close range after nice work from Matthias Tell, and before that Archie Gray surging to the edge of the box. Lovely ball through for Wilson Odobert, but his shot was well saved by Stanak. Spurs looking comfortable. It's live on TalkSport 2, 17 to go. Tottenham 2, Slavia Prague 0.
They'll have 11 points from 6 games if they can hold on there, and it sounds as though there's anything to suggest they won't. Liverpool have made that double change. Bradley for Gomez at right back, and Isak has come off with Wirtz coming on. So Ekitike now playing through the middle, and Wirtz has started off on the left. Liverpool swinging the ball down to the right-hand side of the penalty area. Full Conor Bradley pulling it back to the penalty spot. Ekitike with an effort that was blocked. Gravenberch with an effort that goes over the bar.
Well, really good play there. Diagonal ball to Bradley. Chested it down. Played it straight back into probably a penalty spot area of the box. And Ekitike just pulled off. You've got to say, super block by Akanji.
Good first contribution, though, from Conor Bradley, controlling the ball on his chest, playing it nicely towards Ekitike, who does look much more comfortable playing through the middle. Former Liverpool defender Nat Phillips has scored for West Brom. They trail 3-2 at Southampton with 3 minutes to go. Barnet 4, Bristol Rovers nil in League 2. And the referee has stopped play as McAllister goes down. Inter thought that they had a really good opportunity for a counter-attack there. And the referee has given a free kick Alexis McAllister's way. He's down holding his left shoulder. Let's go back to Deepdale. Preston against Coventry in the Championship. Natalie Pike.
It's Preston 1, Coventry 1. There is 2 minutes left of normal time here, and talk about a momentum shift. It has been all Coventry in this game, but since the equaliser, both the Preston fans and the players have been lifted. It is Preston 1, Coventry 1.
Alexis McAllister's brother Kevin's just scored an equaliser for Union Saint-Gilloise at home to Marseille. 3-3. They've come back from 3-1 down there. So McAllister is okay. He's able to continue. Soboslai has spotted the ball down for a free kick, which is right of centre. Similar sort of distance, I guess, to the one that he pinged in against Arsenal. But it is further right than that one was. 2 in the wall. Might be tempted here, Dominic Soboslai up against Jan Sommer. She's going to clip it in instead towards the far post. It's headed down and then volleyed clear by the inter-back line. Comes out for Wirtz. Wirtz towards the edge of the centre circle for Curtis Jones. Soboslai behind him. Aerial right-footed ball. Robertson could have let that just drift over his shoulder towards Wirtz. He headed it instead away from him, then wins it back. Fires in across that DeMarco misses. Bradley runs around it, lays it back for Soboslai. Left-footed ball in from him, is volleyed away at the penalty spot by Bastoni. And then Bradley mistimes his jump as he catches Mkhitaryan going up for it in the aerial challenge. He leans over him, pats him a little bit disparagingly on the back by way of apology, but the free kick's gone Inter's way.
Yeah, I just get the impression Liverpool were just coming into this game, maybe Bradley's a better option in getting forward slightly and more advanced positions than Gomez, and was disappointed with Isak, I've got to say, and Wirtz. It gives the opportunity to Ekitike to play down the middle now.
That possession almost dead level, just shaded by Inter. It'd be really interesting, Liverpool fans, to hear what you've made of this performance tonight. I'll take your calls on the sports bar later. 717 22 33 44. Alisson bowling the ball out to the Liverpool left, and they can bring it forward again with 18 minutes to go. Chelsea fans love to hear from you as well. Being held at the moment out in Italy by Atalanta. And Spurs leading Slavia Prague by 2-0. Second home win of the week incoming by the look of it. Is that a corner turn, Spurs fans? Jamie, I'd love to hear your views on that. Sports Bar open for business 10:15 tonight after we've mopped up all the action in the Champions League and domestically. Inter in possession inside the centre circle. Players from both sides have gone down injured, but play goes on. Barella out of the Inter right-hand side. Thuram looks as though he's labouring a little bit now. Luis Enrique chased after the loose ball, but his compatriot Alisson was always going to get there first. Now with the ball in a safe part of the field, both Mkhitaryan and Jones can receive the treatment that it looks as though is going to be necessary for the pair of them. So we'll go back to North London. Spurs, Slavia Prague. Ollie Klink.
Where Xavi Simons is stepping up and scoring from the spot to make it Tottenham 3, Slavia Prague 0. It was Xavi Simons who won the penalty in the first place, sent tumbling inside the box. He dusted himself off and then fired it into the bottom right-hand corner. Tottenham 3, Slavia Prague 0.
Well, he had to wait a while for his first Spurs goal, but they're coming now. 3-0 Spurs lead. And a yellow card shown to Curtis Jones as he and Mkhitaryan both get back to their feet. Jones is showing the referee the war wounds that he's got. Arne Slot's not happy at all, but Jones is booked. What do you think about that?
Well, listen, I don't think the referee was going to stop the game until the players ended up stopping the game because they're lying on the floor. And at that stage, he's decided to come back and not only let the physios on, but book Curtis Jones, who was caught late. I don't see it personally, but there you go.
Latest scores in the Championship. A lot of these games approaching stoppage time. Blackburn 1, Oxford 1, Charlton 1, Middlesbrough 2, Sheffield United 1, Norwich 1, Southampton 3, West Brom 2, Swansea 1, Portsmouth 0, Watford 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. They're seconds away from their first win in 13. QPR 1, Birmingham 0 with 9 minutes to go. And still 1-1 between Preston, who are down to 10 men, and Coventry at Deepdale. Here's Virgil van Dijk. Late equaliser for Chesterfield at Cambridge. 1-1 there. Carl McFadden in stoppage time, seemingly securing the spire right to point. Another challenge comes in. Lautaro Martinez, the perpetrator. Gravenberch thought he was fouled. There was a yelp of pain. He's back on his feet straight away. And play does continue. Notts County 3, MK Dons 2. Tom Yapenda with 2 minutes to go, giving County the lead in a game that saw 4 goals in the first half. None through the opening 75 minutes in this one that we're concentrating on tonight at the Giuseppe Meazza, the San Siro. 0-0 between Inter and Liverpool on what may well be the Reds' last trip to this iconic venue. Alisson siphoning the ball out of the penalty area, played in towards Soboslai. High aerial ball from him across the edge of the penalty area and chased after on the Liverpool right by Canate. Martinez takes the throw quickly straight at Bastoni, who is given the licence to push forward from the left of the 3 centre halves. Throw taken. Work back towards halfway. Fall from Akanji. Here's Zielinski. Bastoni. Into stringing the passes together in Liverpool territory. Everybody, including Ekitike, back behind the ball at the moment. More diligent defending to be done with 15 minutes to go. DeMarco working it down the left-hand touchline. He's misdirected that. Straight out of play for a Liverpool throw.
Yeah, chances that are a premium at the moment, Jim, but Liverpool look comfortable. I don't think their goal's under too much threat at this moment in time, but they certainly would like to break the deadlock.
2 games left for Inter as well after this one. They've got work to do. 12 points would go up to 13 if they were to get a draw here.
Great opportunity just then. Through ball by Wirtz. Just overhit it slightly.
Certainly there to be won for either of these 2 teams. 2 games that Inter have got left. They've got Arsenal at home and then Dortmund away. So no guarantee that they would get 3 points from those two. So if they don't win this, you would feel that their chances of a top 8 finish are very much hanging in the balance. I told you that Sheffield Wednesday was seconds away from their first win in 13. They have conceded in the 7th minute of stoppage time to a goal from Vivaldo Semedo. It's 1-1 there at Vicarage Road. Watford 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, and the Barron streak set to continue. Full time at Deepdale. We'll be back with Natalie in a moment. As Wirtz plays it forward for Soboslai. He's got Bradley making a run down the right-hand side ahead of him. Crossfield aerial pass is comfortably brought under control by Andy Robertson. Swansea have beaten Portsmouth 1-0. Robertson, 5 yards in for the left-hand touchline, 20 yards outside the box. Liverpool keeping possession, but are going backwards with it at the moment. Curtis Jones, he plays behind square as well. Van Dijk, Gravenberg's ball forward is easily cut out by Akanji. So we'll get those full-time details from Deepdale and TalkSport's Natalie Pye.
It's finished Preston 1, Coventry 1. Preston were reduced to 10 men in the first half after Lindsay's straight red for hauling down right. Coventry dominated throughout the game, forcing Everson into several big saves before finally taking the lead when Raduni's strike deflected in off Hughes. But 5 minutes later, totally against the run of play, Jebison with the superb equaliser into the top left corner. Coventry still haven't won at Deepdale. Their lead at the top now cut to 5 points, while Preston climbed to 4th. Preston 1, Coventry 1.
The goal in the Champions League in Bergamo for Alex Crook.
And a massive blow for Chelsea. 7 minutes remaining. It's Atalanta 2, Chelsea 1. Charles de Ketelara with the finish from just inside the penalty area. I think Robert Sanchez in the Chelsea goal should have done much better. In the end, he's almost pushed it into his own net. They were ahead, Chelsea. They're now behind. It's Atalanta 2, Chelsea 1.
Well, they beat Barcelona 3-0 on match day 5. Match day 6, they're within 10 minutes of a defeat in Bergamo against Atalanta in a game in which they led. They'll have 10 points from 6 games at the end of the night, and almost certainly will fall out of the top 8. They started 7th, will fall out of the top 8 over the course of this week if it stays that way. That will be a blow for Maresca and for Chelsea. Work to do for them. Work to do for Liverpool here, but still 0-0. 11 minutes to go as Bradley works it through the midfield. And it's picked up here by Wirtz, who looks up, sees Ekitike making a darting run down the left-hand side. He's drawn Bisek and Luis Enrique to the ball. He's played it back towards Robertson. Now McAllister through the midfield for Soboslai. Bradley's waiting again near the corner of the penalty area, running at DeMarco, trying to take him on the outside. DeMarco's blocked his cross really well, and the second one as well, as Bradley fired it in first time left-footed, and he came back off the thigh of the Italian left wing-back. And Watford Sheffield Wednesday game has finished 1-1. Southampton have won 3-2. Here's Bradley inside the area. Good save from Sommer at the near post. Bradley frustrated. That's one of the clearest opportunities Liverpool have had. Fell the way of the young substitute on the right-hand side of the box. Hit the target, but didn't make it too difficult for Sommer. Bradley has it again. Soboslai. Now Robertson. We're in the final 10 minutes. Ryan Gravenberg with a little reverse ball forward. Soboslai. Nice 1-2. Wirtz and the Ekitike. The McAllister involved as well around the edge of the penalty area. Soboslai, his toe pokes a loose into pass away from Mkhitaryan, and the crowd can't hide their dismay. Konate trying to get it forward. Gravenberg then turning into trouble, but winning a free kick from Zielinski. And we've got 9 minutes to go, but what a chance for Bradley.
Yeah, really good chance. He had a couple of attempts at putting crosses in. He couldn't beat his man and hit the ball straight into him, but when the ball came to the edge of the box, Ekitike set him up brilliantly, and it was a finish of a man that isn't used to getting in on the goalkeeper one-on-one, really, you know, and the goalkeeper just blocked it comfortably with the left thigh. But what he's got to work out, Bradley, is sometimes if he can't beat his man, just shove it into a centre forward and run directly at him. That is often the best way of getting beyond a fullback that's dealing with you.
Yeah, he's only scored the one Liverpool goal so far, which came against Chelsea nearly 2 years ago. In comes this Soboslai free kick, which is poked short towards Wirtz from distance, and he's fired it wide. Full time at the Valley. Good night for Middlesbrough. Ian Abrahams.
Yeah, Charlton 1, Middlesbrough 2. First half goals from Riley McGree and Morgan Whittaker won this one for Borough, who had to late on their nerves, wrestle with them after an own goal from George Edmondson. But in the end, they got the job done. And with Coventry's draw, they're 5 points behind now. Finish here, Charlton 1, Middlesbrough 2.
Finish at Ewood Park, Blackburn 1, Oxford 1. Decent point for fourth bottom Oxford. And Sheffield United 1, Norwich 1. Good point for second bottom Norwich, but they've only won 1 out of their last 16 games now. Thuram, Mkhitaryan and DiMarco, replaced by Boni, Sucic and Carlos Augusto for Inter Milan. A triple change. This is the last time they could make any changes, so that's why they've gone with the 3 here. 7.5 minutes to go. Inter 0, Liverpool 0, still the score on TalkSport.
Yeah, Inter just trying to freshen it up there. I think the 3 that have come off have been a little bit disappointing, probably led by Mkhitaryan, who's had good opportunities to feed teammates and got the pass or the cross wrong.
Stoppage time equaliser for Luton at Lake Norrie at 1-1. Gideon Kodjwa with the goal in 90 plus 6. Akanji. Stats tell you that Liverpool have had more attempts. They've had twice as many on target as Inter, although neither goalkeepers had too many opportunities to really enhance their already stellar reputations. 7 to go, 0-0. Not the worst result by any stretch of the imagination for Liverpool, particularly with all of the noise around it. And their fate in this competition for a top 8 finish would still, we believe, be in their own hands. If they win the last 2, they'll be up to 16 points, and I'm sure that'll be enough for them. Robertson get it forward. Florian Wirtz, space for Szoboszlai if he plays him in. He had to go early, he didn't. He eventually nutmegs to Vrij and getting the ball forward. Then Bradley in towards the edge of the penalty area. Bradley getting it again. Still he's got it. Little reverse. Right footed clipped in by Ekitike. And the Liverpool player who's Wirtz went down dramatically inside the penalty area, and the referee says nothing given. Into will try and get it forward quickly towards Lautaro Martinez. She's just given a little shove there by Canate as the ball was on the touchline. I think the referee has said no, he's going to give a Liverpool throw rather than an Inter free kick.
Yeah, a bit of a push there. I think Lautaro made the most of it, but there's certainly an arm in the back. Bradley done well there, done exactly what he needed to do, just played the ball into feet and followed his pass, and sometimes that just overloads the central area.
Big game in League One tonight, and Cardiff have just taken the lead at Stevenage. 1-0, 5 minutes to go through Callum Robinson. Now the VAR has got involved and has told Felix Fire, the referee, to stop play. McAllister went down inside the penalty area. Was it McAllister? Was it Wirtz? Wirtz, I beg your pardon. So the ball was clipped. He was certainly having his shirt pulled by Bastoni. He really made the most of it, but was there a foul?
Well, he was pulling his shirt, not enough to send him to the turf, and to be fair, he's pulling him backwards and he fell forward, so he's defied gravity really in some ways, but there was a pull on his shirt.
Well, this could be a big moment for Liverpool, because Felix Fire has been called over to the monitor and he's going to have a look at it. Now, Wirtz has certainly gone down easily, but the first thing the referee sees is a still where the number can't be seen on the back of Wirtz's shirt because it's being pulled so hard by Bastoni. So the referee will have a look at the way that Wirtz has gone down, how much of a material impact it has had on him. There is a clear pull of the shirt, there's no doubt about that. What's the decision going to be? Felix Fire comes back onto the pitch. Is he going to be giving Liverpool an 87th minute penalty here against Inter? Lautaro Martinez, the Inter captain, and his Liverpool counterpart Virgil van Dijk have both been called over. And the referee is explaining to the pair of them now exactly what the decision is, and it is a penalty to Liverpool.
Yeah, once again, I agree with the referee's decision in the first half, the handball, and I've got to agree with it once again. There was pulling, you can see that in the still, and if you pull someone's shirt in the penalty box, you're going to give a penalty away.
So Bastoni gets a yellow card, and Liverpool have a chance to win it really late on. There's no doubt whatsoever that Florian Wirtz made the most of it. He didn't go to ground in the way that the pull of the shirt would have dictated necessarily, but that's immaterial. The pull of the shirt was there.
Yeah, he certainly had a hold of the shirt, so I don't think they can complain. And Liverpool got a massive lifeline here. This game looked as though it was meandering to a 0-0. And Szoboszlai's got a great opportunity of winning it, or certainly taking the lead for Liverpool.
In the 88th minute now, Szoboszlai spotted the ball down. Bearded Hungarian, looking a little bit nervous, eyes darting left and right. Jan Sommer bobbing up and down on his line. Szoboszlai hits it beautifully. Liverpool lead with 2.5 minutes to go. He's fired it into the left-hand side of the goal. Past the despairing dive of Jan Sommer. And Liverpool close to winning in the San Siro again. They lead at Inter by a goal to nil. They haven't been at their best, but this will be a massive win.
Yeah, it certainly will. I'm sure Salah will be at home thinking, I normally take penalties, but there you go, that's a different story altogether. Great finish by Szoboszlai. He just whipped it across his body. The pace of it was far too much. The accuracy was too much for Sommer. And what an opportunity to go on and get 3 points and put themselves in a really strong position in the Champions League.
Fury amongst the Inter players. Liverpool will be level with them at the end of the night if they can hold on to this lead. They'll still be behind them on goal difference. Inter's goal difference is 8, Liverpool's 3. They've got a really good record on home turf. They've won 8 of the last 9 games here, unbeaten in their last 18 home matches in the Champions League, of which they've won all but 3. That's since the defeat to Bayern back in 2022. That's only the 3rd goal they've conceded in their last 12 home games in the group stage or league phase, as it now is, of this competition. Inter 0, Liverpool 1 with 89 minutes played. Spurs have won 3-0. We'll bring you full-time details at the conclusion of this game. Birmingham have equalised at QPR in stoppage time through Pat Roberts, only for QPR to go straight up the other end and score again. QPR 2, Birmingham 1. Late drama there, late drama here as well. Inter looking for a stoppage time equaliser. As the ball is played in towards Thuram, and Szoboszlai should be there to knock it away. Can find Wirtz. Szoboszlai again, still waiting for confirmation of how many extra minutes will be added on. But Liverpool getting the bodies forward quickly, looking to try and score a second. Bradley, back for Szoboszlai. Now inside the centre circle, it's Konate. Konate working forward towards Gravenberg, and all of a sudden there's plenty of space for the Dutchman. Coming towards the edge of the penalty area, Wirtz with a little give and go with Ugo Ekitike. Getting it back inside the box, Ekitike. Past one challenge, trying to get past the second, fired a right-footed shot. It hit Martinez, who's defending really deep on the edge of his own penalty area. And it's cleared again. Van Dijk can pick it up. Van Dijk knocking it forward. Szoboszlai's 88th minute penalty. Will it be the winner? Looks like it at the moment. Ball played through the Inter penalty area and shepherded out of play by Carlos Augusto, who very quickly pokes it back for Jan Sommer. And we're in 6 minutes of added time. Midway through the first of those extra 6 here on TalkSport. Inter 0, Liverpool 1.
Yeah, and this is a game that Liverpool really need to see out and keep a clean sheet and get themselves over the line. They've worked hard to get themselves in front. I wouldn't say a little bit fortunate. It was definitely a penalty in my eyes. But the performance has been reasonable. They've not conceded too many chances on their goal, but they need to get over the line for their own confidence, if nothing else.
It was Kieran Morgan that scored that goal for QPR, and it was a 96-minute winner. QPR 2, Birmingham 1, a full-time score at Loftus Road. Liverpool poke it away with McAllister, who's then gone down immediately with a touch of cramp. Christian Kivu far from happy. The Inter Milan coach patrolling the edge of his 6-yard box.
We do see a lot of cramp these days, don't we, in the game, Jim? Do you think? It used to be the domain of the FA Cup extra time on a heavy pitch, but not anymore.
No, needs must. Sometimes you need a spell of cramp, and he needed one then. His team just given the chance to draw collective breath. Of course, time is going to be added on for it, just disrupting the flow of the game.
I've got to say, the only time I've seen you go down with cramp is in the Cheesecake Factory, my friend. You know? But then again, that was a particularly long session.
I was going to say, we were 11 hours in at that stage. This Bastoni has it, 3.5 minutes to go, plus a little bit, probably 4 minutes of playing time left. Akanji's ball through the penalty area. Lautaro Martinez turning, getting a shot in. He's poked it just wide. Really didn't get hold of it. It just took a merest hint of a flick on its way through off a Liverpool defender. Goes out of play for a corner. Martinez is frustrated that he just didn't get hold of that, because he may well have been able to wrong foot Alisson. Corner to Inter in 90+4. And Alisson comes out and catches it. Really good goalkeeping from the bearded Brazilian. And he'll run a few seconds off the clock before hitting a long ball down the Liverpool left-hand side that maybe they should have made a better job of controlling with Andy Robertson. He'd made the run, it drifted over his shoulder, couldn't bring it under control. Chelsea have been beaten, and Chelsea fans, the sports bar open for business. 08717223344. Put your calls now, and they'll be taking them at 10:15 tonight. So Chelsea beaten, Spurs have won, and Liverpool on the cusp of victory with 2.5 minutes to go. They lead through that Szoboszlai penalty after Wirtz was pulled to the ground by Bastoni. Van Dijk clears from inside his own penalty area. High one towards halfway. Wirtz can't hold it up. Into winning it back. Have it with Luis Enrique. His ball traces a path through the heart of the midfield. An opportunity for Sucic to bring it forward. It's inside the penalty area, and then has just caught Conor Bradley. And it's a free kick which will be taken on Liverpool's right, and they'll be able to run a few more seconds off the clock. They're nearly there.
Yeah, they certainly are. I don't see them under too much pressure at this moment in time. Bradley doing well there, just took the ball away out of the danger zone and just drew the foul. But Liverpool, well, you know, there's not been much in the game, it's fair to say. They'll be disappointed they had the goal chalked off in the first half, which I think was a correct decision, but so a correct decision went their way and given them the penalty. So a good result.
They're a minute and a half away from sealing it. And what you have to say, well, they didn't create too many chances, or haven't created too many chances. Defensively, they have looked sound. That hasn't been their long suit over a run of 5 clean sheets in 28 games coming into this. But when you consider how good Inter's home form has been, the fact that Liverpool have been able to restrict their hosts to so few opportunities really is commendable.
I think that's the main thing out of the game today, and I think Slot will be absolutely delighted. A clean sheet away at Inter, who are playing reasonably well at present. It might be the biggest plus of the day, I think. Hopefully it stays that way.
Lautaro Martinez has got other ideas. He's trying to get it for Carlos Augusto inside the penalty area. Again, Liverpool can get it away. Might be able to break here with Wirtz. Szoboszlai making a lung-busting run forward to his right-hand side. And he's played him in. Back in the old days, his first thought would have been to go to the corner flag there. Still Liverpool trying to maintain possession. They've ended up losing it. McAllister slides in, stops Sucic's run. It is a throw which will be taken by Inter on the left. The minimum of 6 minutes has now been played. Remember, McAllister went down with a touch of cramp, so probably 30 seconds at least still to go. Liverpool so nearly there. Zielinski well inside his own half, but getting it forward here for Inter, trailing Liverpool by a goal to nil. It's then given away straight to Robertson, who gets it forward for Curtis Jones. He's pulled back by Bisek, and that is going to be that.
Yeah, I think you're right. A really good result for Liverpool if it stays this way, and they'll be absolutely delighted. I think it's exactly what they, with the week and the few days they've had for the manager, the situation with Salah, it'll be a fantastic result, and it is a fantastic result.
Job done. Arne Slot wins his 50th game with Liverpool. 50 wins in 80 matches is a pretty good ratio, but very few of the 50 will have been as sweet as this on the road. A week that has brought with it problems, publicity, Mo Salah, a Liverpool legend, wanting away, and it's ended up with a controversial penalty 2 minutes from time, which Inter is still arguing about, and the coaching staff continue to get booked for their complaints. But that penalty won by Wirtz for a foul by Bastoni, converted by Szoboszlai. Liverpool from the spot on 88 minutes, and that was all it needed. They're up to 12 points from 6 games in the Champions League, and that, after the PSV defeat, will make them feel much better about life. That's a decent win in the context of this competition at any time, but particularly with everything that has happened over the last 10 days. Inter 0, Liverpool 1.
Sports Bar is getting ready, and around about 15 minutes time you can have your say. 03717 223344. We'll get more in-depth thoughts from Stuart Pearce and the man of the match very shortly. But Stuart, first of all, there was a shirt pull. It's a very soft one, but penalty for you?
Yeah, without a doubt. He's pulling his shirt. The still that we saw and the referee would have saw give clear evidence of that, and you can't do that in the box, I'm afraid, especially in Europe, and think that you're going to get away with it. Correct decision.
It's a massive win for Liverpool, given everything, isn't it?
It's a massive win for Slot, I think, with a few days he's had. When you make big calls like he has done over the last couple of weeks, I think he needed a victory. Liverpool needed a victory, and as we spoke before, the clean sheet was absolutely vital, I think.
More to come from Stuart Pearce very shortly. Let's round up what happened here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Alongside me, Ollie Klink.
It finished Tottenham 3, Slavia Prague 0. A comfortable night for Spurs, but an important victory nonetheless for their Champions League campaign. They took the lead midway through the first half. David Zima heading Pedro Porro's corner into his own net via Romero's flick. Then 3 minutes into the second half, Porro was brought down right on the byline inside the box, and Mo Kudus scored the resulting Spurs penalty. Xavi Simons then wrapped things up with 11 minutes to go. He was sent tumbling inside the area after a Kolo Muani knockdown, and then fired home their second penalty for his second goal in a Spurs shirt. It's a win that takes them to 11 points in the league phase table, 9th as it stands, just outside those automatic spots, with Dortmund and Frankfurt to come. A good night for Thomas Frank's side here. It's finished at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 3, Slavia Prague 0.
Chelsea blew it in Bergamo. Alex Crook.
They certainly did. Atalanta 2, Chelsea 1. It looked like it would be a very different kind of night for Enzo Maresca's side when João Pedro slid in to score at the near post from Reece James' cross with only 25 minutes played. But the home side got back on level terms 10 minutes into the second half when former West Ham striker Gianluca Scamacca rose highest inside the 6-yard box to head beyond Robert Sanchez. Sanchez then failed to keep out Charles de Ketelara's stinging low shot with 7 minutes remaining. That ultimately proved the winner. Alejandro Garnacho had a late effort saved, and João Pedro passed up a golden chance to equalise in stoppage time when he shot straight at the Atalanta goalkeeper from close range. No wins in 4 now for Chelsea, and it's looking like the playoffs are their most likely route into the round of 16. That's unless they beat both Paphos and Napoli in their final 2 matches. It finishes here. Atalanta 2, Chelsea 1.
Let's round up all the Champions League full times then. Kairat 0, Olympiacos 1, Bayern Munich 3, Sporting 1, Atalanta 2, Chelsea 1, Barcelona 2, Frankfurt 1, Inter Milan 0, Liverpool 1, Monaco 1, Galatasaray 0, PSV 2, Atletico Madrid 3, Spurs 3, Slavia Prague 0, Union Saint-Gilloise 2, Marseille 3. In the Women's Champions League, Arsenal 1, FC Twente 0. In the Championship, Blackburn 1, Oxford 1, Charlton 1, Middlesbrough 2, Preston 1, Coventry 1. Now Cov's lead at the top cut to 5 points over Middlesbrough. Last week it was 10 points. Sheffield United 1, Norwich 1, Southampton 3, West Brom 2, Saints are up to 8th. Swansea 1, Portsmouth 0, Watford 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, late equaliser for Watford, and QPR 2, Birmingham 1, late winner for Rangers. League 1, Doncaster 0, Stockport 2, Exeter 1, Wimbledon 0, Leyton Orient 1, Luton 1, Lincoln 3, Barnsley 1, Mansfield 0, Bolton 1, Northampton 1, Huddersfield 1, Port Vale Bradford was postponed because of a waterlogged pitch, Stevenage 0, Cardiff 1, Cardiff go 4 points clear at the top, Wickham 0, Plymouth 1, Reading 1, Peterborough 2, wins for 3 of the bottom 5 tonight in League 1. League 2, Barnet 4, Bristol Rovers 0, Barrow 0, Tranmere 3, Bromley 3, Crawley 1, Cambridge 1, Chesterfield 1, Fleetwood 1, Salford 1, Harrogate 0, Accrington 2, Notts County 3, MK Dons 2, Notts go second, Shrewsbury 1, Grimsby 1, Swindon 0, Cheltenham 1, Swindon missed the chance to go top, and in the Virtue Trophy, Colchester 0, West Ham United under-21s 1 was the full-time score. Spurs have won 3-0, more reflections to come. Chelsea beaten, but Liverpool with a big win in the San Siro by a 1-0. It's time now for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on Talk Sport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Stuart Pearce, who are you going for, man of the match?
Well, I think the person who sort of caught my eye the most in the game was doing something that little bit special was Lautaro Martinez, so I'm going to have to go with him.
Even though he was a loser, Martinez, our Here For It hero, man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.